stains tell stories of pain. Spoons clinking whispers in the night. Beneath the night. Shadows dance beneath the neon light. Who drank the poison, who lit the flame? Everyone's guilty, no one takes the blame. True crime cafe where secrets bleed. Truth a bullet, truth a need. True crime cafe where lies collide. Order up a story no one can hide. Black boots stomping floors of regret. Ashtrays full but we're not done yet. Clock ticks louder, the walls close in. Every scene tastes like original sin. Who's the killer, who's the saint? Fingerprints smudge, they don't paint. Truth or dare or just pretend? What's the start, what's the end? True crime cafe where secrets bleed. Truth a bullet, truth a need. True crime cafe where lies collide. Order up a story no one can hide. Who's the killer, who's the saint? Fingerprints smudge, they don't paint. Truth or dare or just pretend? What's the start, what's the end? True crime cafe where secrets bleed. Truth a bullet, truth a need. True crime cafe where lies collide. Order up a story no one can hide. Blood on the counter splattered like rain. Coffee stains tell stories of pain. Spoons clinking whispers in the night. Beneath the night. Shadows dance beneath the neon light. Who drank the poison, who lit the flame? Everyone's guilty, no one takes the blame. True crime cafe where secrets bleed. Truth a bullet, truth a need. True crime cafe where lies collide. Order up a story no one can hide. Black boots stomping floors of regret. Ashtrays full but we're not done yet. Clock ticks louder, the walls close in. Every scene tastes like original sin. Who's the killer, who's the saint? Fingerprints smudge, they don't paint. Truth or dare or just pretend? What's the start, what's the end? True crime cafe where secrets bleed. Truth a bullet, truth a need. True crime cafe where lies collide. Order up a story no one can hide. Who's the killer, who's the saint? Fingerprints smudge, they don't paint. Truth or dare or just pretend? What's the start, what's the end? True crime cafe where secrets bleed. Truth a bullet, truth a need. True crime cafe where lies collide. Order up a story no one can hide. counter splattered like rain. Coffee stains tell stories of pain. Spoons clinking whispers in the night. Beneath the night. Shadows dance beneath the neon light. Who drank the poison, who lit the flame? Everyone's guilty, no one takes the blame. True crime cafe with secrets bleed. Truth a bullet, truth a need. True crime cafe where lies collide. Order up a story no one can hide. Black boots stomping floors of regret. Ashtrays full but we're not done yet. Clock ticks louder, the walls closing. Every sip tastes like original sin. Who's the killer, who's the saint? Fingerprints smudged, they don't paint. Truth or dare or just pretend? What's the start, what's the end? True crime cafe where secrets bleed. Truth a bullet, truth a need. True crime cafe where lies collide. Order up a story no one can hide. Who's the killer, who's the saint? Fingerprints smudge, they don't paint. Truth or dare or just pretend? What's the start, what's the end? True crime cafe where secrets bleed. Truth a bullet, truth a need. True crime cafe where lies collide. Order up a story no one can hide. Blood on the counter splattered like rain. Coffee stains tell stories of pain. Spoons clinking whispers in the night. Beneath the night. Shadows dance beneath the neon light. Who drank the poison, who lit the flame? Everyone's guilty, no one takes the blame. True crime cafe where secrets bleed. Truth a bullet, truth a need. True crime cafe where lies collide. Order up a story no one can hide. Black boots stomping floors of regret. Ashtrays full but we're not done yet. Clock ticks louder, the walls closing. Every sip tastes like original sin. Who's the killer, who's the saint? Fingerprints smudged, they don't paint. Truth or dare or just pretend? What's the start, what's the end?
All right. Welcome back, guys. Happy Saturday. Welcome back to the cafe. We are open for the weekend. Good to see you guys today. Thank you for joining us. I hope everybody had a great night last night, slept well, and you're having a great start to your weekend today. I appreciate you all joining me today as we hit up part two, reviewing the newly unsealed and redacted documents out of the Idaho 4 situation. Appreciate you all being here for that. Of course, as always, I will drop that link and pin it up there for anybody that wants to discuss these as we go through and break it down and figure out if there's anything new here that tells any kind of a different story, possibly for some of the stuff that was redacted. And if not, we'll figure it out. So please make sure to hit that like button on your way through the door. Share this out. Let everybody know what we're doing in here. And I do appreciate you all so very much for being here. Welcome back, guys. And again, happy Saturday. That being said, let's get this crazy show on the road. You know what comes next. Welcome back, guys. Yay, yay. Good to see you guys today. So very happy to have you all here. As always, spending time with the best people on the net. That would be all of you. I want to thank my, well, maybe not, any one of my moderators that might pop in here today. If I don't, if they don't, then I get it. But I would like to thank them if they were here. So bees it. So bees it. I guess I'll get this handled myself today. It's no big deal. You guys are pretty awesome. It's not hard to deal with. So come on in, guys. Grab a seat, get comfortable, grab something to drink, whatever you want, coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Sit down, relax, have a conversation with me, if you will, please, and thank you. Great to see you all. Looks like we got CJAG 1K in the house. Miss JCJ, good to see you, dear. Thank you for joining us. Great to see you today. Yvonne Poole as well. Steve W., welcome back, my friend. Wonderful to see you. Hope you're doing good. Philip Hughes, good to see you, sir. Philip says thanks to Dago and all the members of the True Crime family for their prayers and concerns about my house. Good to hear, Philip. Yeah, Mrs. Dago had called me that day and said, have the community pray for Phil. He wasn't doing so good. So I'm glad to see you're doing better. And of course we did, friend. That's what we do in this community for each other, support each other in any way we can. So wonderful to hear that and wonderful to see you today. Thank you for joining us. Beach Babe, good to see you. Mr. James Moen, welcome back, my friend. Wonderful to see you. Marty Fodrell, always happy to have you in the house. DKM, welcome back to you. Great to see you. Let me see. So. It is Saturday. May not see too many peeps in here, maybe. Who knows? Kindness Cake, welcome back. Good to see you. I've been waiting for you too, Miss Jace. I'm glad you're up and moving today and having a great weekend, I hope. Appreciate you joining us. Deborah Ackland, welcome back to you. Great to see you today. Appreciate you very much. Again, everybody, please make sure to hit that like button when you come through the door, if you will. Please and thank you. Share this out. Let everybody know what's going on in here today. We're going to wait here just a few minutes to make sure we got everybody in here before we get moving, and then we'll get this moving. We got more documents to review, talk about. There's an interview that Stacy Chapin put out I was kind of interested in. We may check that out as well and discuss these things as we do. Come on in and get comfortable. Yes, wonderful to hear that you're feeling better, Phil. Like I said, she's a little worried about you that day and said have the community pray for him and keep him in their thoughts. So we did, and I'm glad to see you are. All right, come on down. Fox, welcome back. Good to see you, Fox Rooter. It's okay. No worries. I'm grateful to see you when we see you. Real life is real life, and it always comes before this, guys. So grateful to see you guys when I see you. That's a fact. Let's see. We got 55 people with 29 likes, guys. Let's see if we can make that match a little bit better if we could, so I can try to get this in an algorithm. Please and thank you. That is important to YouTube, as well as leaving comments, guys. If you have a minute after the show, during the show, please, if you will, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are. 100%. Always appreciate. I try to get to them all and at least make sure I like them and heart them. But I do read them all, and I try to respond too. So I appreciate the comments very much. Witchy's in the house. Welcome back, Witchy. Good to see you. Happy Catterday. More likes equals less hexing. Yeah, you don't want to make Witchy mad. You don't have her putting hexes on anybody. So hit that like button. Katie Bats, welcome back to you, dear. Good to see you today. It's that time of year, folks. I woke up this morning and I was cold. Literally cold. It's been a minute since I've been cold in the morning. So it's great to have that feeling. I love fall. Love it, love it, love it. Now these leaves got to start changing, and it'll be even better. Seems like summer went by pretty quick, and I'm grateful for that because I do not like it. I'm sorry for those of you that do. I don't like summertime. I don't like that heat. Like I said, if it was 70, 70, 75, maybe I'll even take 80 without the humidity. All year round, I'd be a happy guy. I like the sunshine. Don't get me wrong about that. But Maury, Detective Maury's in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you very much. Yeah, it's 66 out. It's chilly compared to what it usually is. Yeah, I do not like summer at all. It's chilly. It is chilly. And we're used to this 90 some degree weather. It cooled down quick this year. I think it's because of all the hurricanes and stuff that we had, but Louisiana don't have it, huh, you Bond? That kind of sucks. That's okay. You got a bunch of other cool stuff in Louisiana. What do we got, you Bond? So you stay bundled in that bed, JC, and enjoy your day off if you got one. I hope we go over the 23rd supplemental request. Yeah, I plan on it for sure. We had that. We had the interview first yesterday. That's why we didn't get a chance to go through more docs. But yeah, I plan on it, Yvonne. About Brian's phone and the laptop. Phoenix covered the state's response on the laptop, but it didn't mention his phone. Yeah, we will check that out for sure, Yvonne. No worries. I think Lana did that one last night, didn't she? Good evening, or I'm sorry. Good morning or afternoon, Moonlit. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Whatever it is, wherever you are, I hope it's good for you. It is great to be here with you guys. Period. I don't mind winter so much because you can dress up to get warmer, but I don't like that slushy, crappy, shitty snow that we get. I like it to snow for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and then after that, you can have it. I don't want it. I don't like shoveling it, pushing it, clean it, none of it. I wish we had other cool stuff in Louisiana. You got lots of cool things in Louisiana. You got them um you got great food. I'll put it that way. Welcome, JC. How are you today, dear?
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm trying to keep warm.
Yeah.
The weather goes from like 90 to like 90 to like 60 in a day, and our bodies just
Yes.
cannot adjust to it.
You live in Nebraska, right?
Yes, in
Yeah.
Omaha.
Yeah, you got them. You're like Ohio. We're our weather. I just always say Mother Nature in Ohio is very bipolar. Like it could
Well, it's the
snow.
Midwest in general.
Yes, yeah. It could snow one day and be 90 degrees the next.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it actually could happen all in the same day too. So it is
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
insane. What is up? Yes, 23. We're gonna look into that one for sure. Rissa Roberts, good to see you. Peaky, welcome back to you. Um, Hope Floats, Miss Val, good to see you. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Come on in, guys. 76 peeps, 40 likes. We're getting there.
Did you get a chance to watch it last night?
I did not. I forgot because it got late and I fell out, went to sleep because that's what I do. I'm old. I'm gonna hit it up today a little bit later on and check it out. Did you see it? I saw some clips of it.
Yeah, there's not much that we don't already know.
I kind of figured that's why I wasn't in a big rush.
Yeah.
They couldn't really put much out that we wouldn't already have information on, in my opinion. That,
No, absolutely not.
they won't put out certain things, period. We know that. So, I didn't expect to get any bombshells coming out of that.
No.
So,
But right away, it's funny
uh-huh.
because I don't know if I texted you or not, but right away I noticed that they said it, I just go looking for misinformation now,
Yeah.
and it's
There's a lot of it.
it's awful to do. But they said that they were all home at 2 a.m. ready to settle in for the night, and I'm like,
That's not true.
no, that's not true because
Not at
Ethan
all.
and Xana weren't home.
That's one of the big questions and mysteries that I've had with this is when did they get home? Because we don't know. They still weren't home at 2:30 something, from my understanding. So somewhere between 2:30
And 3.
and even after that, we don't know. I'm going to give them somewhere between 2:30 and 4 a.m. is whenever they walked in that door. And I still wonder if when they came home, something came home with them. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I've always wondered that. I've been thinking for a long time about those two. And we've got a few other theories now with them. Did it happen to them possibly before the other two came home, and they were in their room that whole time with the door shut and nobody knew it? Because now we're going back to Eddie made a good point yesterday and said that.
Because like Sarge said, like he thinks that it could have started internally.
Yep,
And
very possibly. Like I said, somebody could have came home with them. There could have been and Kim says there was a shakedown, and there could have been an argument, disagreement, confrontation, something, and it turned into this. But my only issue, and like I said, I have issues believing anything that Dylan says. So my
yeah.
biggest issue is her stating that Kaylee said she was going to bed with the dog. They go upstairs. She screams, says somebody's up there, and runs down. That's the one part that has me twisted, because when did that person, if that's true at all, when did that person get in the house? Where were they before that point? And it's just weird. It doesn't match up with some of the other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
That was
still want to know, like I'm sure that they do, but I still want to know what Dylan knows that she's not saying.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And Bethany.
And Bethany too.
I think I've been saying this because of things I've noticed, read, and visually seen now. I feel like, what's up, Wade Bird? Good to see you today. I feel like Bethany detached herself very quickly from Dylan and the situation and booked it. She was gone and did not want anything to do with this, did not want anything to do with anybody around there, I should say, and just was done with the situation. Even that day.
And still won't go back to Idaho.
No,
For no reason.
not at all. If you watch that body cam video that we saw that came out, they were separated.
Where was Bethany and all that?
There you go. She was standing across the street when they first got there by the steps there for those apartments that go down the sidewalk there.
Okay.
She was standing over there when they first got there. He walks in, or you actually don't really see her at first. He goes in the house, finds the situation, comes back out, and then she finally starts walking back over. Why was she not with that group? It's weird. It's very weird. Hey, Terry, good to see you. Good to have you here. Crossroads Accounting, good to see you. It's just, and ever since that point, I feel like she kind of distanced herself. Now, you would think that, especially two girls, young girls, that go through a situation like that are going to kind of bond a little bit over that situation.
Oh, yeah.
It would be a lot closer. And Bethany didn't want to have anything to do with the memorial. She didn't come to speak at the hearing about the
sentencing.
Yeah, the sentencing hearing. She didn't speak there. She was gone. She did not want to come back. And Twiz says, and I agree with him, that she's the weakest link in this situation. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't think she was on board for anything. If there's a situation that people knew about, I'm not saying there was for sure, but if there was, I don't think Bethany was on board for this. If it was like that, okay. I think she was told to do certain things possibly, and if that's the case, she did them because of fear, maybe, and moved on. Okay. Megastar Meg P, good to see you. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you so very much. Gary King, welcome. Good to see you. Gary says that Bethany knows that the danger is still in the area, and I agree with that. I truly agree with that. She's not stupid. Okay, she might be a little young and immature, but you don't have to have a whole lot of common sense to understand that situation. And to keep your mouth shut. Paco, good to see you today. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. I think Bethany was told to go along with whatever story that would keep them out of jail. Very possibly, Witchy. Or more, maybe threatened to keep her mouth shut and mind your business and you'll be okay. You know what I mean? I mean, it all fits for me. It does. Terry, a shakedown. Okay. So we've heard a couple different interviews.
Did he? I can't see chat. Did he ask what do you mean by a shakedown?
Terry Martin asked what
Okay.
shakedown
Okay.
is. So
Explain. I know what you're going to say, but
what
explain for the viewers.
right? What was mentioned was that house was kind of a hub where people would go to purchase certain things, okay, to get certain things, and there was a lot of it going on in that house. Now, I can't say I disagree, because of things that we've seen and heard and read and all that kind of stuff. So basically, it depends on what the situation is. Shakedown could mean different things in different situations. With that, I feel like somebody went there possibly to shake them down. Okay. It's not per se a robbery, but, to get control of a situation within that house, maybe. Or, if there was something going on there, um, that was illegal. Okay. People were coming there to get certain things. Maybe somebody was trying to get their hands on that stuff, something like that. Okay. It could have been multiple different things. And they were trying to take that over, maybe, possibly. Like I said, I don't want to say robbery, but maybe somebody was trying to get a hold of certain things that weren't theirs per se. Maybe they were trying to control that situation. Maybe it was, you know, they were doing things out of that house and it was affecting somebody else's business. There's different variations of what it could be, but it's a confrontation, Terry, um, between people. It could mean different things depending on what the situation is in within that house. But many people have stated that people would show up there that weren't even students, that didn't live in that area, to buy certain things. We read in a report that there was somebody that would go kind of stand guard there at work security for things that were delivered to that house. I mean, believe what you believe. It is what it is. People don't make statements up completely out of nowhere. There's something in these statements. If it's a lie, there's got to be that much truth in it to create the lie itself. Just remember that. Mamir, good to see you. Circus Music, welcome back to you, Beach Babe. Great to see you. Well, yeah, that's the other thing, Peaky, is to send a message. There's other things that have gone on within that community and those people. Their parents were involved in some things. If you look at it that way, it could be something that was not, if people say things about things they shouldn't, you're going to send a message about that. Okay. Kim, when she made that statement, made more than one time said, snitches get stitches, things like that. So take that for what it is and break it down, figure it out, and think what you think about it. It depends. I don't think a stun gun would make a loud, sound like a, I don't think it would be that loud. Now, it depends on the type of stun gun it is. They make like a crackling noise, like a popping. It could be. It could sound like a firecracker. I've just never heard one that loud. Now, the other ones that you shoot and it projects itself, I've never actually heard how that sounds, but it does give off like I think a flash when it's first launched, or not launched, but shot off. I said launched. Jesus. What was the message and request between Gonsalves about Molly? That I'm telling you guys at this point, I think when Steve stated that he went, thank you so much, Meg. When Steve said that he was going to go speak with an informant at a hotel, and the FBI said, if you do, you're going to get arrested. I think it was Molly. I do. Based on that, what we read in that document yesterday, I think it was Molly. Absolutely think it was Molly, without a doubt. That's the only thing that makes that report or that document make sense now. Again, Meg, thank you. And anybody, by the way, folks, we don't ever, as I always tell you guys, expect donations, tips, or anything like that, or to be supported in that sense. But we really, truly appreciate it because it keeps this channel going day after day. Whether you choose to support PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, Super Chat, Super Stickers, whatever it is, memberships, we do appreciate it all. So thank you so very much for that. But don't feel like you have to do it to be here. Miss Tandy, welcome back to you, dear. Good to see you today. Where is our bomb toy? Everything's good in the Dago hood. especially now that you were here. Yeah, I think Molly was the informant of sorts. We all know that she's a CI, okay, and that Steve was going to go meet up with her to get the information he was trying to get. They said no, shut it down. There's the bomb toy. Good to see you, dear. Thank you for joining us. And she's beyond definitely not a credible witness. I don't believe much of anything that Molly says. I think any statements Molly has made were to help her get out of a bad situation. That's just my opinion. It's possible Beach Babe is right too.
Did she like insert herself?
Well, okay. So the video that we watched where she's in the police station,
Yeah.
I think that Molly was using this situation to try to get out of a DUI or a OVI or whatever the hell they call that when you're under the influence of something besides alcohol.
An OUI operating
OUI.
under the
There we go.
influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
I learned that in Karen Reed's case.
Right. I knew there was a different name. I just couldn't think of it.
Yeah.
I think Molly was using that situation to try to help herself get out of her situation. Oh, I have to go testify to Brian that I saw Brian, blah blah blah. And I think she thought people were gonna go whoa and just shut it down and let her go. Well,
Yeah.
they don't care about that. So that's all I think Molly was
Well,
doing.
and he said, he goes, I think that can be dealt with later. I think this is much more important.
Sure. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. And that's why she was trying to claim she was friends with Bill Thompson. Well, because Bill Thompson, because he doesn't know how to prosecute people without giving them deals or other things that make his life easier, makes everybody an informant that gets popped for drugs and puts them into the drug program instead of actually making them do real time. So,
yeah.
And that's been just about everybody out there, guys. It's a joke. They get kickbacks for that as well, folks. So don't think that they're, he just does it for no reason. They're getting kickbacks for anybody that gets involved in that drug court thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and also, can I just tell you something that was said last night?
Mm-hmm.
He started talking, and because when it came to, to the point to do his piece or whatever, he said, we got what we wanted.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, and then someone's like, you got what you wanted, but I don't think you can say that everybody got what they wanted, because definitely the families. And then he went off on his, it wouldn't have been beneficial for them to, go through all that. And
of course, where'd you see that at last night?
It was on the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he knew what he was going to do. And I still feel, you guys, like I've been saying for the past couple of days here, this was never going to go. This was never supposed to go to trial. Welcome, Mama D. Good to see you today. No late. You're not late. We just got started, so you're good. So he knew what he was going to do the whole time, in my opinion. He knew that he was going to throw a deal because that's plea deal Bill. That's what he does. Okay. The man has never truly had to prosecute that many cases all the way through a trial or anything, because he just says, here you go. I'll give you this if you just do this. Think how easy his job's been. It's ridiculous. He's weak and he's pathetic. And the families deserved a lot more. And not to mention, like I said, he used the Gonsalves family as a tool to get what he wanted. They got what they wanted. They used them and brushed them off to the side, and he don't care. He does not care how the families feel. He's an actor. The crying, the whatever, Bill, get over yourself. Nobody believes anything you say at this point. Nobody thinks that you care about this. You care about you and you alone. He wants to make sure that he has a hot, nice, clean record before he retires and he's off to live his life. It's a damn shame. I don't think that Brian is the one that did this at all, as we all know, but the family still at least deserve a truly prosecuted case, okay, to give him real justice. He didn't even do that. He promised them multiple things that he never gave them. So that's
including a plea deal.
Right. And that's one thing he told him, oh, no, we won't give a deal. We're never even thinking about doing that. That's all he thought about the whole time, in my opinion. Thank you so much. Jane Bosch just dropped 5 new memberships in the cafe here. Looks like Twiz got one. Chef
Oh
Era
yeah.
Pink, Mama, or nope, Kinda Sorta, Misinformation, and Jennifer Bradford. That is so awesome. Thank you so much for that, Jane. God bless. Very generous of you. And welcome to the sauce with that new 5 meatballs. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, he's an expert. He truly is. She's right. Witchy says Bill Thompson was a plea deal expert his entire career, which is fact. It's what he's known for. They push certain cases to him when they want plea outcomes. Absolutely, 100%. They knew if they threw this the death penalty on the table with this case that at some point he was going to drop a deal. Here we are. And I think they pushed and threatened and cornered the defense and Koberger into a plea deal. They gave him no other choice, in my opinion. So, Core's in the house today. Woman Power 101, great to see you as well. I'm still thinking that the DoorDash driver was used to try and force a timeline. Ethan and Xana had been dead, but they needed to force. It could be. It makes sense, Core. It does. It does make sense. And I agree with that in a lot of ways too. You know, last night Eddie brought it up, like I said, that maybe Ethan and Xana were already deceased in that bedroom, and the door was closed. Okay, and when Maddie and Kaylee, nobody bothered to go in there because the door's shut. You know, why would you? That's your roommates. You don't just walk in or bother them. Who knows what they're doing? And nobody bothered to mess with the door. And they could have been gone the whole time. And the person that did it could have already been upstairs hiding and waiting. When Kaylee goes upstairs finally, boom. You know what I mean? So that's something that does make sense to me if that really happened that way. Good golly, Miss Molly's in the house. Good morning, dear. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Dago, what's your thoughts on something happening in the bathroom?
I don't know. I don't know because that bathroom looked fairly clean.
Yeah.
Maybe in the hall, maybe in the realm of the stairwell, the living room area, that if she did run to the bathroom, possibly she was trying to come back out. Maybe got caught there by the stairwell where we saw all that blood at the top of the stairwell. Maybe she was trying to head downstairs at some point. But how'd she get back up to the 3rd floor in the position she was in is what my issue is. Welcome, Elizabeth. Good to see you today. Then how did Xana get out onto the hallway floor? She wasn't on the hallway floor, Terry. She was found in her bedroom on the floor at the foot of her bed. In the fetal position.
I just don't understand how Dylan didn't see all the stuff. And
that's the thing, is I think she did.
She just missed, like, she's acting like, and has said that she's missed so much, like, she's missed the point. You know what I mean? Like, she's missed the whole, she leaves out, like, I just wouldn't be able to leave out how red of a scene it was.
Oh, of course. I mean,
I wouldn't have been able to do that, Dago.
Nobody would.
Who's able to do that?
Nobody could do that, in my opinion, unless you have to do that or you're told to do that. Think about that. Just as much as nobody mentioned.
But how much time did she have between well, I guess she had 8 hours. So, there's that.
100%. Like I said, when the whole statement where she says that she left her room to run down to Bethany's room. Well, one thing that I noticed,
Xana passed out.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. One thing you noticed in the Bethany Funk interview that we watched yesterday, that doesn't get stated at all. Not once. She doesn't bring that up at all. Like when he says, did Dylan say anything when she came to your room? No. I'm sorry, but if one of my roommates was laying on the floor passed out and I ran to her room, I think the first thing I would have said when I came in there was, oh my God, Xana's passed out on her floor. She didn't even mention it. That's weird to me, okay? And they didn't talk about it through the 911 call about Hunter seeing Ethan on the bed. When the police got there, you know that he experienced that because he said to them, I checked her and she's gone. But I never checked his, but I'm pretty sure he's gone too. Well, that means you knew he was in there Why didn't you say that on the 911 call? There's a lot of little things like that that make this. That's what makes us ask our questions. Okay. Gray Finnery, hello. Cray Finnery, I'm sorry, I mispronounced it. Actually, my position has gone further away from the guilt side than it ever has been, Cray. I more than ever believe that Brian had nothing to do with this. Not even knowledge of it, possibly. Okay, at all. Nothing. I don't think he was there in any form. That's just my opinion. But um, the more that they give us, the harder it is for me to look any other direction than that way. So I'm 100% on the side that Brian is absolutely innocent of this, truly. And like I said, it took me a long time to get there. I sat on the fence for almost 3 years with this, and finally, when all this stuff starts dropping, then I don't see it any other way now. But if SG's sister identified Kaylee's body, wouldn't she have told him about Kaylee's face being damaged? If they showed it, yeah, I would think so, Yvonne. I would think so. Let me see. Yes, thank you so much for that, Jane. How did Dylan know that Xana was really drunk? I don't think she did, Terry. I think that was part of the story. I feel like a story was created here for a reason. Okay, the more I see and hear, it just does. And then after I saw and I showed you guys that there were almost word for word a Vampire Diaries episode is what she said she heard. That's very hard to go past. Okay, word for word. And you know she was watching the show and then she repeats word for word what's said in one of the episodes. That's very hard for me to go past. I'm just sorry. I can't. Um Hold on here. Let me get down through this. Imagine it coming out that law enforcement was watching a house that someone went in and yeah, agreed. That there's a good reason to cover everything up right there. And they were watching the house. They were patrolling that house very closely in that area, okay? And the man says, was it Rosie, I think, or Tesdale, one of the two.
I would think that they'd always be watching that house closely because of how known it is, especially on a like and especially on a football game home game night.
And not to mention, they knew there was a party there the night before. So maybe they were doing that on purpose. But you watched 4 to 5 people walking towards that house. He says that clearly, but didn't pay attention because he didn't see them carrying any open containers. Did you just tell the world that you saw the people that committed this crime walk into that house? Because it kind of sounds like he may have. Then I got to wonder, where were those people coming from? If he's seen Molly's vehicle sitting there and sees those people walking in within the same vicinity, is it possible they came from Molly's vehicle? I mean, I know that's kind of a reach, but it's very possible. We don't know who those people are. Jane says, I have a question. When Molly was trying to deliver the DoorDash, I believe that she stated she saw someone in the 3rd floor window upstairs. How did she know that it was I don't know. That's a good. Well, she said 3rd floor. I don't know. Did she actually say bathroom? If she did, that's a problem. I agree with that, Jane. If she said the words bathroom, that's a problem. Thank you, Meg. Fox says, one question I have is, how did the police officer know where a hollowed out rock was conveniently placed to attach crime scene tape? I don't know, Fox. I didn't even notice that. That's pretty wild. I mean, some of those guys have been to that house multiple times. Remember that. Interesting, though. Rosie couldn't make up his mind if it was a busy night or a slow night. Yeah, that's true, too. These are good questions, you guys. I really appreciate these. Need some Z's. Good to see you.
And I guess my question is the basic link that we have that initially linked Brian to this was the supposed DNA on the
Mhm.
sheath. but who would have? I mean, you got to figure out who he would know that would also, you know what I mean?
That's the problem,
Like
Stacy.
who would he know also that could have like had their DNA on it? You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just so wild. And um I really can't. I'm supposed to be in Denver right now and I am not.
Uh-huh.
But I'm really interested to when it comes out on Crime HQ. I'm really interested to see Othram and Stacy's panel
Mm-hmm.
and what they have to say.
Yeah, we're gonna review Stacy's interview today too, I think. Because I heard there were some interesting little bits of info in there, so we'll see what we got from that.
I
Agreed.
in
Court.
some ways I'm kind of glad I'm not there because
Sure.
you know what I mean. I don't want to.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't know what I would do if I came face to face with those people,
Mm-hmm.
um, because I share a different point of view than probably a lot of people.
Oh, of course.
But I mean, I go to learn anyways. But
Right.
I'm interested to hear what they have to say.
Absolutely. That's what it's all
How do
about.
they? I mean, my question is, how do they sleep at night?
Yeah.
You know, knowing what they have done, because it's absolutely, from what I've been told, is illegal.
Which part?
Othram.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Agreed. Hey,
But
Dean.
then again, like, I don't understand. I guess as a family member, like, do you? Because I've never experienced anything like that. But like, do you just have to go with what you have to be content with justice? I
Right.
mean, I don't know. But knowing what I know now, like, I don't think I could do that. I mean, if in my case there was so many holes, I'd be asking questions.
I do
And
agree. I do
and
agree.
it blew up in Steve's face, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um he trusted the law enforcement this entire time, and he didn't at first, but then when they caught the guy, he was all on board, and now it's, you know,
Yep.
things have blown up in his face, and I feel bad for him, but he could also handle himself a little differently too.
Right. Course says, speaking of DoorDash, when was the last time you had a DoorDash driver looking for your house for 15 minutes, but not call or text you? Thank you. I don't think she was. She was standing down at the end of that road there. I don't trust anything she says. I just don't. I don't think she was, Core. Um, and something's just way off with her, in my opinion. Truly way off with her.
Way off.
People say, yeah, she's way over to the other side of something that ain't got nothing to do with the right stuff. Truly. People say that you have to call the sorority president, yet no sign of anyone that was an officer of the sorority there when the cops came, but the true handler, they called him first. Yeah. Yep, that's true. That's the rules too. That's the sad thing. I am most interested in chain of custody of Brian's phone, and if someone could have erased it or erased into what proved that he was doing during the homicides and Taylor was asking for, it's possible. Listen, anything and everything is possible in this. It is at this point with me in this case. Why would Dylan help clean up unless that she was in on it or was told to do so? Oh, I absolutely think she did. And good point. I think a lot of us are, Core. That's why I know I'm obsessed with the investigation side to this and why it went down the way it did, and I won't let go of it until I get something that makes sense to me.
You mean the lack of investigation
The lack
side?
thereof, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Welcome, Carolyn. Good to see you. Why are people not talking about the two stickers near Dylan's bedroom and Maddie and Xana's names on them? We did talk about them. I think they were markers to show people who was where within the house as far as like forensics. The way they were layered like over top each other. I think they were just to show forensics. Their room was here, this room was there. That's my opinion. I don't know exactly what they were, but we did talk about that a little bit, Dean. I don't know, you might not have been here. How would the Chapins help author him with DNA profile? That makes no sense. We're gonna learn about that today, I think, two Z's. We shall see, but our DoorDash has a 15-minute window from order to delivery. So my question is, did she somehow place the order herself? Well, I don't think you can do that because we did call and look into that, and they said no, you can't do something like that. But my other question is was she truly delivering just food? We also know she did other things. So, you know, I just have that question as well. Or was she picking something up? Another thing I've thought of. But they was there first thing when Nunez walked through. How it must have been staged. I mean, yeah, it does seem very staged in a lot of ways. Truly, it does. And the way things were moved around in that house after the fact, the whole thing is everything in this is odd. There's not
The
one
beer pong table was untouched.
Yeah. Truly, I can't imagine anybody running around through there being chased and not knocking that thing upside down. It doesn't make sense.
That's one of the first things that would have been like if it would have happened in our house.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the first things that would have been, because that's one of the first things that I would run to.
Well, not to mention, if you think
Because
about
it's a blocker, because it can be served as a blocker.
yeah, you could stand on one end and kind of stay away and move it
Yeah.
around. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even touched. Not to mention that Dylan claims that she saw the perpetrator standing at the end towards her door right there. You were standing there. That's where he was standing right there. And you didn't, you sure? And then you watched him walk out the door and you never, when did this all happen? You know what I'm saying? It's just, it doesn't, none
I
of it
would have
puts it into
what
place.
I would have done if I was Dylan is I would have ran over to the door, and if I didn't get a good look at him, I would have got a good look at him walking away.
Yeah. Don't say you couldn't see clearly because we looked into that point of that too. There was a lot of lighting in that room, folks. There was a whole wall full of Christmas lights to the left of that situation. Right there where he would have been standing, according to her, was the good vibes sign. The bar there had lights all over it. There was lights all over that house, you guys. So there's
Yeah.
no way you didn't get a clear view of that person. I'm sorry, but I don't believe that either. Welcome, Samir. Good to see you. Empty office. I think that has something to do with it too. There's been talk about the fact that maybe Kaylee was down there at some point in the office and somebody came in and kind of confronted her possibly, and what they hear is her running up the stairs screaming somebody's in the house. That's a possibility in my opinion too. Is there any other city and there's still absolutely. If that would have happened here, both of them girls would have been arrested and in custody and would have been treated like suspects rather than victims. Very much so.
And even Hunter.
Yeah, especially Hunter. He would have been probably cuffed and detained before anybody else, in my opinion, here.
And then you got to throw Emily in that too.
Every one of them, people standing there should have and would have been detained, swabbed, interrogated, and held until they were comfortable releasing them. That didn't happen. No, what they did instead was put them all together in a hotel together so they can all talk about what went on to themselves, which is insane to me. It's ridiculous.
But okay, my question is this: where does Josie come into play?
Josie was Emily's roommate. I believe they shared the apartment.
Okay.
They were there together. So when they came, Josie came with them.
Okay. And then is there a girl named Olivia that lived across the street? In the apartments across the street or something?
There could be. There's a lot of names I have in my notes here. And I feel like that's a name I have heard before. So it could be Josie or JC. I'm sorry.
Okay.
One thing I would love for someone to dig into is the search warrant that Ellie sent to Google looking for people that were searching things like King girls. Oh, good point. Good point. The other interesting thing that came to me yesterday as I was reading this document, we find out the 4 alternate perpetrators were actually on the state's witness list. That's interesting to me.
Wait a minute. The alternate perpetrators were on the state's witness list.
Yes, ma'am. You heard me correct.
Is that an oxymoron?
It's a factual piece of information.
Oh,
Bill
my Lord.
Thompson had those 4 on the state's witness list, which is in turn the reason why I believe that Hitler said no.
The state's witness list.
Think about that for a few minutes. And if that's the case, they were very well known to the world, by the way. Okay. They had been on MSM. The names were all out there already. I want to see that witness list.
It hasn't been released?
No.
Is it going to get?
Unredacted. They won't put those names out.
Oh, my Lord.
But now, my mom, good to see you, Gaya Deguchi. Welcome back to you as well. Yeah, Meg's right. This whole case is an oxymoron. That's a good way to put it. But yeah, those 4 people the names are already out to the world. Okay. They were close to the victims. They lived close to the victims in some aspects. Some of them did at least. And they're on the state's witness list. You tell me. I almost guarantee you I know who they are. I'm sure by process of deduction, we can come up with who they are. And all 4 of them are male. Okay. That's a fact that we know. Very interesting to me. Very interesting. And if we were to be able to find out exactly who it was, like for sure, I would want to look into every one of them as deep as I could. What went on days before in their lives and days after up to today.
And what's going on now?
Exactly. Up to today. Exactly. Anne was on to something because even though Hitler hasn't declined it, they said she could cross it. Yeah. Agreed. Like I said, they knew if this went to trial that the shit was going to hit the fan at full speed, folks, which is hence why this did not happen. I promise you that's why. It was all going to come out, and the prosecution would have been broke down. They would have been put on the table. They would have been exposed. All the bullshit would have came out, and that is why this was not allowed to go to trial, in my opinion. And Hitler was on board with that. Understand one other thing. I don't know yet, Sky, and I don't want to put that out there yet, but I will at some point give you who I think it was. I got to do some more looking and thinking, but I will. Hitler had a vote in who got to be the judge for this case. Did everybody know that? And then conveniently, he ends up, as much as he says he didn't want the case, he ends up being the judge. But he was on the board that voted on who the judge would be that would take that case when it came to Ada County. That's interesting to me. Welcome, Jen. Good to see you.
Jack's, is it?
I think Jack. I'll give you one that I believe was one of the alternate. It for sure was Jack Showalter.
Jack Showalter.
He was actually a suspect and a person of interest in the beginning of the case with the police as well. So for a while.
Who's CB?
CB. I know there's a David B.
David Barracoa.
CB, David Barracoa, David Loach. Both of them actually could be alternate suspects as well. Oh, Cole Berenberg. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I've heard you talk about him. Who is he? Is he a neighbor?
He lived within the vicinity. He was friends with Showalter. He had kind of a violent temperament. Some of the mixture that was found under Maddie's nails belonged to him. He was at the corner club, I think, that night as well. I'm not 100% sure how that all played out. I have to put it back together. But there's another guy named Reed that has been spoken about too that I have questions about. Yes, he lived in the pumpkin house. Thank you, Terry.
Well, that's suspicious.
He has been for the entire
If
time.
his DNA was found under Maddie's fingernails,
It was a very, 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 very minuscule amount,
who
but
cares?
I know it could just been from interaction because if they were that. Thank you,
Well,
Yvonne. Yes, read up more. It's funny to say that like that, but yeah, that guy. There's something about him I'm uncomfortable with, and I have been for a long time. I just cannot get to it right away. Get right onto it.
Jack
Like,
Showalter would make a lot of sense to me
is it
because
Kelly?
wasn't he really good friends with Dylan? Or didn't they date at some point?
No, he was more closer to Maddie.
To
Claims that he
Maddie?
did. Yeah, claims that he didn't know Kaylee. Didn't have any idea who she was, but spent a couple hours talking to her at the corner club and was walking home with them. So I don't believe that at all either. Yeah, Enid was originally subpoenaed in the beginning for the original trial. I I don't think so, Terry, because the dude just I hate talking down about people, but I think the guy I don't think he was smart enough, to be honest with you, as far as common sense goes. Book sense, the kid's smart, yes. But as far as that goes, the kid's not smart enough, in my
Who,
opinion.
Jack?
No, Enan Harsh. He'd have told on himself,
Oh, Enon.
in my opinion. Typically, you Neeks in the house. Good to see you today. Yeah, Enan's just something. He's definitely off. Don't get me wrong. He's weird and he's got some things that could point to him. I just don't think he's smart enough. That's all. Be careful, Meg. Colby was the one that was bothering people at the uh the corner club, yes. And I believe he was thrown out that night. And because of being groping people, something like that, just being a perv.
And then Adam.
Adam is interesting because Adam's never come forth really and said a whole lot of anything, and I wonder why. I want to know
I want to know what Maddie
word,
told him.
word for word what Maddie and his conversation was. Yes, because I think wisdom speaks. God bless her. She used to think 100% that statement had everything to do with this case. That was like the key per se. And then yesterday, folks, I don't know if you guys, for those of you that may not have been with us last night, Hunter and Jack wasn't really showing emotion on the body cam after finding out that, yeah, I know, Dean, it was weird. But there was a statement made in the interview that Bethany did last night that it wasn't last night, but we watched it last night. And she makes a statement about, he was asking her, Blaker did the interview, different questions. And at the end of it, says something about, yes, she was supposed to go to Texas, but I don't really think she was going to it anymore. And I went, what? We've never been told that, heard that anywhere until that interview right there. That Kaylee had changed her mind about going to Texas.
No, we never heard that.
And he asks her why, and she says, well, I think because she wanted to be here with all of us. What? And then it made me start thinking immediately, well, all those calls to Jack that night and all this stuff that they talk her into
Getting back together with Jack.
Mm-hmm. Welcome, Miss Charlene. Good to see you. It's just weird. It's very strange.
It's so
that's
weird.
Never been stated before. Ever.
And then also, like, didn't we just find out that Kaylee, like, might have been having some issues with her family?
Oh, they were estranged. They hadn't spoken in a while. When Kaylee went home, she was not at home. She was at her aunt's house.
Yeah.
When she went to buy the Range Rover, there was nobody here. Her grandmother went with her and gave her the $1,000 for the down payment as well. There was no family connection there for a while. So I've always thought that was because they were trying to shove Jack down her throat, and she was not.
And she didn't want.
Yeah,
she didn't want it.
She's very independent and said, it's my life. I'm going to do what I want to do. Leave me alone. So she wasn't talking to them at that point, which is sad, but it's interesting because it's never been brought to the table. And yes, guys,
and they've done nothing. They've done nothing but support Jack.
Sure. more than
But Dago, I also look at Jack, and do you think that he's capable of doing
I
that?
mean, I don't think so either. There's also, yes, Dean,
Uh,
that's a good point. There was a 17-minute call between him and Kaylee that he says he can't remember. I think that's interesting too. I don't know though, JC, because somebody that goes into a blind rage, somebody
Well,
can.
yeah, I don't know the guy, but I mean, just by looking at him, I'm like, isn't he like kind of scrawny?
He's very, yeah, kind of ropey arms and all that
I
kind of
just,
stuff.
yeah, I just don't see him being,
But he's a taller guy, and like I said, a blind rage will pull strength out of people that they don't even know they
yeah,
have. Yeah, Meg makes a good point. I think Dylan's more capable than Jack.
I do
I got to
too.
agree. Yeah, good
Yeah, I
point.
do too.
And there's people that have stated. I know I'm not real big into the whole psychic thing and all that, but it's been said more than once, and it's been put out in many different ways that Dylan Mortensen is not the person she portrays herself to be. And I got to be honest with you, I have a really strong feeling that I agree with that. If that makes any sense, I
Well,
don't think the way everybody else does.
I just don't know about her antics. Like
Yeah, good way to
her
put it.
antics is just what gets me, and she's not a small girl.
No, 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 no.
She looks like a tough cookie. You know
It,
what I mean?
well, like I said, that she would. Yeah, she comes from. Oh my God, Tomboy.
Like I can't imagine her as an athlete.
I mean, she's pretty. She's tall, and she's pretty.
Athletically built, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
she looks like she could take somebody down.
Oh
Truly,
yeah,
to me, I said this before. Looking at her and looking at Brian, um, I would put it on her just as much as I could put it on him, about the same. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I think she can
Well, and
handle
like
herself.
Sarge said, she described herself.
Yeah, yeah, she did truly. Um, sorry to interrupt, but these things here,
Oh
anybody that's ever had these, oh my God.
no,
If you
they
guys,
exist.
yes, send these. If you want to send me
Oh,
anything, send them to me. I love you if you do. I back in the
oh.
day when we were young, they made a version of these once and they were so good. And then they disappeared. And now they're made with Reese's peanut butter, which I think is even better because that's my favorite. But damn you, Tomboy.
Oh,
Damn you. Yeah, amazing. But thank you for sending me to see. I appreciate it.
make my mouth water.
It did, and it does. She does. Well, I don't know about the mean girl. Here's the thing: is the group of friends she had. She was in a completely different circle of friends than Kaylee and Maddie were. Okay, they weren't close. They were so close. Look at their pictures. Pictures are pictures. That's great. They lived in the same house. They were not close. Okay, they didn't hang in the same group. Dylan was more, and I'm not trying to be mean when I say this, but her group of friends were more like I can't even think of a good word to put it out there. Kind of more ghetto-y, if that makes any sense. Do you know what I mean? Her boyfriend was a thug.
They
They were
weren't. They weren't as classy.
right. Okay, they didn't put themselves out there. Her boyfriend was a thug. She hung in that group of people, and that's not Kaylee or Maddie's group per se. And it's very strange. So he was involved in some things that he shouldn't be, and or their hood. There you go.
The other thing that they said last night was, and Hunter Chapin made this comment, was that they felt like Xana and Ethan were like the same person almost. And I'm
Mm.
like they brought out like the opposite in each other, but then Hunter's saying that they were pretty much like the same person. Like, honey, no, they were not cut from the same cloth.
Not even close. In
Not
fact,
even one bit close.
that's that's why
You,
they.
you just watch it and then tell me what you think about it
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you get done watching it. I know.
I
I'm
will.
sorry. I'm spoiling everything for you.
No, you're good. You're good. I like that. Yeah, let's get the likes up, you guys, if we can, please and thank you. Big Jessica Bulk, welcome. Big Bertha, why'd you block that witch? What witch? No idea who you're talking about, Bertha. Um, I love the name though. These killers make me sick. They all think they got away with this. It's pissing. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Thank you for that, Meg. Guys, please hit the like button, please, if you will. I don't even know what we have right now. Let me see. It looks like we got 82 likes. There we go. And we got 135 people. We could do better than that, y'all. Come on.
I did my part.
Yes, ma'am. That was a strange comment about Kaylee deciding not to go to Texas. It's very strange. Nobody ever stated that. The family never knew that or put that out if they did. Nobody's ever put that. It wasn't in any documents until that interview. And I went, that interview happened the same day that the murders, the day after, okay, the next day. So why was that never put into a report anywhere? It makes you wonder. That's all I'm saying. All right. Let me get back to this. We got 87 likes now with 134 peeps in the house. Let's see if we can get that at least to 100, you guys, to get this in the algorithm. Please and thank you. Reese's. I am too, Jen. I love Reese's. Anything. Ethan didn't play by the rules of Sigma. Of course. Of course. Yeah, Ethan. And that's the other thing, too. In the very beginning, it was stated to us that the Chapins weren't fond of Xana because she was a different type of a person than what Ethan was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
And then last night they said, "Oh, I loved Xana from the beginning."
Yeah, well.
I'm like, "Oh,
He may
Lord."
have, but I don't think his parents did.
That's no, Stacy Chapin said, or Maisie said Mom liked her from the beginning.
We know
Or
that.
maybe I liked her from the beginning.
Yeah, we know that that's not true at all. Stacy was not fond of her in the beginning, but she wanted her son to be happy, and that's why. Bubbly did a deep dive into her employer, very fishy. Whose employer, Mom? Which one? Maybe that's Fox. That's what I was wondering, is maybe that's what was stated because somebody said something to Kaylee. Somebody texted her something on that walk, and that's why she made that statement. Kaylee's employer. Well, and that's the thing. We looked into that. Okay. We did a deep dive into that employer, and it was not keyed out to be what everybody was thinking it was. Okay. It was kind of shady. I'll be honest with you. So just saying. So let's move on with this here and get some of these moving. We'll talk about this as we go for sure. Yeah. That it was that Echo Shield. It was supposedly a pest control company. Okay. Kaylee would have been doing sales, I'm guessing, but we also watched some videos. We looked into what Echo Shield was, guys. There was way more to it than just pest control. That's a fact. Very strange. Very strange. FBI had parallel investigation. FBI deleted Kaylee's LinkedIn account. Possible connection. I mean, could be, Core. I said yesterday that was there something going on that the FBI was doing day before yesterday. I said this. And part of their investigation is what caused this. And that's what the cover-up's been about. Because if it came out that they were the, responsible for this happening, that could be real bad. Just saying. Mary Holt, good to see you. Let's see. Wadebird, good to see you. Aries, good to see you today. It took SC 1 year to acknowledge Xana respectfully. Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, there was not a liking in the very beginning. Welcome, Terry. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate you. If you can hear me, I hope you can hear me. Maybe not. Are you still there? Are you there, Terry? Hey, Hemisphere. Does this mean also that the DNA was independently tested by Anne? Oh, I think she definitely did that too. It blows my mind. Still that the judge can decide whether defense has the right to test. Yeah, I got you. Makes sense. Miss Rose in the house. Good to see you, Rose. Terry, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Terry.
Hey, how are ya?
Good. How are you?
I haven't talked to you in a while.
I know.
I like your new avatar.
Thank you.
That's cute. All right, yo, guys. So this first one here is the state's response the defendant's motion for independent analysis of evidence. Some of these are quick and fast. Comes now, you know how all that stuff goes. It says motion for independent analysis of evidence. So long as this analysis is not used as a basis for a motion to continue the trial, the state notes that defendant received the extractions, digital copies of all these items on April 4th of 23. The physical items of evidence, the Acer laptop and Samsung phone, have been available for analysis since July 22nd of 24. And that was submitted on June 6th. Some of these documents are interesting. Welcome, Care Bear. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. I believe the company was Extreme Networks that Kaylee was working for. See, we found it called Echo Shield. Now, if they're both the same company with maybe like what do you call that?
A sister company.
Yeah, or related in that way. What's up, Stitches? Good to see you, neighbor. Or an LLC name underneath a different name, possibly. It could be Care Bear. That could be very true.
Well, I think they were owned by the same people.
Yeah, the guy that was the big wig for this was a young dude, and they were going on trips to Mexico and places like that, and just partying a lot. And there's a video we watched of these girls that work for this company on foot, going door to door, saying that they're selling stuff, but then they're talking about other things that they might be doing too, and it makes you go, wait, what is this? You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird. It kind of relates to the sugar babies thing in some senses for me as well.
Yeah.
It's just very strange how it all played out. And maybe somebody said something to Kaylee, like, you know, this says you could do better than this or something like that. Maybe that's where the change came. I don't know. It just one day maybe we'll find out the absolute truth as to did she really change her mind, or is that just something that was talked about the weekend that she was there with the girls?
Weren't they owned by Perky or the other guy? I forget his name. The other one we're not supposed to say. Yeah, Esty.
No. It was the guy that owned that company, Echo Shield. His name was Jake something or other. I can't think of his last name. We have it. I have it in our Discord and in our files. I'll have to find it, but it was Jake something, the one that owned that company, the Echo Shield thing.
Now, I know Adam worked for him.
Everybody did. Everybody worked for this group doing these things, and we don't know. Like I said, all the guys looked like Ken dolls, and all the girls looked like Barbie dolls that worked there. It was really kind of weird. It's just, it makes you think what was really going on with this, and is that part of this too? Chalk baby, oh my God, it's been a while. Good to see you. Hi everyone, been lurking. I wish you would too. But her last statement, she clearly put it out that she wouldn't be speaking to the public, that she would be spending her time continuously supporting her client until she doesn't. And there's been no documents of them quitting, being the defense for him. So I don't know what's going on there, but that's a good statement. I appreciate that. It's good to see you, Chuck, baby. Adam worked for him. Maybe that's semantic. Well, Adam, from my understanding, is Adam took the job that Kaylee was going to have. Am I right about that, everybody? Because I'm pretty sure
that's what we heard.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So,
but what we hear and what really happened, who knows?
Very, very good point, Terry. Very good point. Okay, so we just looked at that one. On down to the next one. We got the 23rd supplemental request for discovery, Exhibit V, under seal. And it says, complete copy of the chain of custody of the Acer laptop, item number 905, and the Samsung phone, item 902, belonging to Brian Koberger. And then copy of image QPH5, one referenced in FBI reports 25-114, evidence barcode, that number. And copy of all the raw data records, handwritten notes, and forms that are used by Dr. Gage in the evaluation of Brian Koberger. The defense is asking that these materials be sent directly to Dr. Orr, which is the doctor that, if you guys remember, was going to do the analysis on him. But complete copy of the chain of custody of the Acer laptop and the Samsung phone belonging to Brian. That's interesting. Any thoughts on that, anybody?
No. Say that again. I can't see it, so.
Oh, Jesus, that's my fault. I'm so sorry. I always forget to blow this up for you guys. There we go. Candy girl. Good to see you, dear. Yeah, this was the 23rd supplemental request for discovery under Exhibit V, and it was under seal. And it says the complete copy of the chain of custody of the Acer laptop and the phone that belonged to Brian. So it's basically talking about what the chain of custody was for those items. Whatever image QPH5 referenced in the FBI report was as well. I'm curious to know what that is. And the copy of all the raw data records, handwritten notes, and forms that were used by the one doctor that did the evaluation of Brian, Dr. Gage. That all should have been sent to Dr. Orr. Yeah, he had a Samsung. I know, Jen. I know. It's crazy. It makes people asking if it's believed that they went in and deleted things out of his phone that would have proven his innocence. I'm going to tell you again, I don't doubt it at this point. I didn't get to see that, Z's. What did Lana say about that last night?
The handwritten notes and forms.
I didn't watch it.
I didn't see Lana's last night either. I didn't get to watch anything. I passed out early. I don't know. It's interesting to say the least.
Did he do, Dr. Gage, did he do like a psychological evaluation, or what kind
of an
evaluation are we talking?
Oh, yeah. It was a psychological eval on that. Okay. Answer 42, hello. So this is where we're going to get into the 23rd supplemental request for discovery right here, which is something I've been wanting to touch on. All right, make sure you guys can see it well. We never heard any of the other attorneys were willing to take. Nobody seems to want to, and I get it, but I wish somebody, a good attorney would step up and say, hey, I want to help with this. And you know what I mean? I just wish that would happen. Anyhow, so this is the sealed unredacted response to the defendant's 23rd supplemental request for discovery. Exhibit B filed on June 2nd, Exhibit S1. And it states the state's responses are provided in blue. So anything in blue is what the state has stated on here. The state will continue to supplement its discovery responses as additional information is received. And again, that goes back to that complete copy of the chain of custody for the Acer laptop and Samsung phone that belonged to Brian. The state has previously complied with this request as follows. The Acer laptop is identified as MPD item 905 and MPD property number 24M-1047. The defendant was provided a photo baits numbers 13802 and 13803 depicting the chain of custody for this item on August 16th of 24. The chain of custody for this item is as follows. The Acer laptop was seized from room K at 1119 Lambsden Drive, that's his parents' house. I'm guessing it's his bedroom, on December 30th of 22 by FBI Special Agent Schreier and Special Agent Maslin, FBI item 7 and Bates number 6608. The above item was turned over to Special Agents Tanzola prior to the conclusion of the search. Special Agent Tanzola reported the item to the Philadelphia Regional Computer Forensics Laboratory, PHR CFL evidence room, Bates number 6568. Welcome, Christina. On February 11th of 23, Special Agent Tanzola took possession of the above item from the PHR CFL evidence control room. And again, it refers to Bates number 6473. This item was hand-delivered to Detective Mowry on February 14th of 23 at the Moscow Forensics Lab, Bates number 6473 again. On July 22nd of 24, Mowry transferred the above item, which was secured in the MPD forensic lab, and booked the item into evidence with the evidence custodian at MPD, Bates number 15775. Let me see. CZ, welcome. Good to see you, sis. The dates are important as well as when the Barnhart got the image of the items. Good point. Very good point. And then it says the chain of custody for this item is as follows. Koberger's cell phone. Oh, wait, did I skip something? Okay, I did. Brian Koberger's Samsung phone is a Moscow PD item number 902 and Moscow PD property number 24M-1044. The defendant was provided photographs and Bates photos 13793 and 13794 depicting the chain of custody for this item on August 16th of 24. The chain of custody for this item is as follows. Koberger's cell phone was seized from room M at 119 Lambsden Drive in Albrightsville, PA on December 30th by FBI Special Agent Scherer. I think I said it right. And Special Agent Braun. FBI item 13 and Bates number 6609. The above item was turned over to Special Agent Tanzola prior to the conclusion of the search, and Special Agent Tanzola transported the item to the Philadelphia Regional Computer Forensic Laboratory, PHR CFL evidence room at Bates number 6568. Lana thinks that Ann made this request because of whatever the Barnharts said. Oh, yeah. The Barnyards. I don't trust anything that they have said at this point. I think they're so full of shit.
Who are the Barnyards?
Yeah.
They're called the Barnharts. I changed their name. They're the ones that were talking about all the Cellbrite shit.
Everything about his phone that they. Yeah. Okay.
Basically.
The fact that he was guilty because he had an anti-Norton system or something like that on it. And
of course, yes. Yeah, okay. The whole Cellbrite situation, I think it's bullshit. And if you notice something, look. The Bates numbers are changing for some reason. Okay. Like this one here, this is his cell phone. Bates number 6609, right? Mm-hmm. Then it goes down. It says the above item was turned over to SSA Tanzola prior to the conclusion of the search. Tanzola transported the item to Philadelphia Regional Computer Forensic Lab, evidence control room, Bates number 6568. Why would that change? You have one number on it. Why does it need to change? Just because it went somewhere else? That doesn't make sense to me, folks. At all. And if you look up here at the laptop, that was listed as Bates number 6608. Then it goes down. When it's transferred over to Philly, it's 6568. I don't understand how that works and why it does that. It's like they're taking it in different places, and every time it gets put somewhere else, they give it a different number. I don't like that. Something's not right.
How come the main things about this case none of us have seen? Like, we've never seen the sheath.
Yeah, with all 7,000 pictures out there, there's not one of the sheath. Why? Maybe because it doesn't exist.
We don't even know what it looks like.
Right.
Except it has UMC, whatever.
USMC on it.
Yeah, I mean, we know what it looks like, but we don't know that it's real. Like, I've never seen it.
We really don't even know what it looks like. I mean, it could be brown, it could be black. I mean, we have no idea.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. And then that other number changed over. Who just said that? Z says it, and then it changes to 15775. Right. Why does that number keep changing like that, you guys? Something's not right with that. I'm not law enforcement. I don't know, but I'm telling you something seems off with that. The Barntards say cleaner on his computer. It is literally a Norton virus cleaner. Everybody has those.
I know.
And they were trying to say that about his phone too. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, we're all murderers.
And the name is literally cleaner. Jesus Christ. Again, building a narrative. Right. With all those pictures, Chuck, that we've seen, there's not one photograph put out that has a picture of that sheath on it. Not one.
No.
I don't get that. I'm sorry. And I don't trust that. That I want to see a picture of it to prove that it's real. That's all I'm saying.
Especially if it's leather.
Thank you. It's the state's response, right? I Did I go through all that already? No, I didn't. Hold on. On February 11th of 23, Special Agent Tanzola took possession of the above item from the PHR CFL Evidence Control Room, Bates number 6473. The item was hand delivered to Detective Mowry on February 14th, and then it goes. It's got the same number there. It changed places, and it changed where it was, and it's still carrying the same number. Then on July 22nd, Detective Mowry transferred the above item, which was secured in the Moscow Forensics Lab, booked the item into evidence with the evidence custodian at MPD, Bates number 15775. They changed the number there again. That's what I don't understand.
They keep
Wait,
changing
is
the
that
numbers
one
of
that
the
he put in
item.
a drawer?
I don't think so. This is Brian's phone.
Okay, what it had to do with the phone, the ping, I don't know, the information that came with it. He put it in a drawer and forgot about it.
Oh, that part of it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The thing is it didn't leave. It was in the same facility. It was just in different departments, and the numbers changed 3 times. I don't understand that. That's confusing, and I almost wonder if it was done purposely to confuse people. It's weird. So yeah, Terry, that's right.
Yeah.
I didn't know what you meant by that at first. I'm sorry. And in the copy of image QPH51 referenced in the FBI report 25114, evidence barcode number is that's number 439 there. The state has previously complied with this request. QPH51 is the image of Brian Koberger's Acer laptop's hard drive. This information was provided on April 4th of 24 on the server provided to the defense. It can be found in the following path. There's a link there. It's the R Computers Koberger laptop images, QPH5, and it's got all those numbers there, which I'm guessing are photograph numbers. And it says it's also provided as an audio-visual number, 0009905, on May 14th of 24. That same number for Koberger computer devices, Koberger's laptop images, and the QPH51. I don't trust this. I don't. FBI PHR CFL
Are they
report
doing
25.
something with them every time it changes a number?
I have no idea. I mean, they're
That's
going
the
to different
question.
places. They're going to different departments within the Moscow Police Department, but it doesn't give us exact what they're doing with it. But they keep changing the numbers up. It's weird.
That's weird.
Yeah. Yes, Care Bear. Very good point. You would think.
What a great thing to say. You know, not to have to give to the defense is to say, "Oh, I basically forgot it. I put it in the drawer, and
Right.
it was still in." But the way they word it, it doesn't sound bad.
Well, of course not. They're good at that stuff. Well, just as weird as it is that they left a refrigerator door open conveniently and ruined all of those samples and swabs, just as convenient as a fire that burnt down a specific place and ruined other evidence. I mean, come on, you guys. How much of that stuff can actually be real? It doesn't make sense to me.
I'd love to compare what has happened to the evidence in this case versus in majority of cases.
Oh, of course. Yeah. To see the change or the difference within it. Right. Agreed. So the reasons why, thank you for sending this to me, Fizzy, why a Bates number could change is it says different agencies handling the evidence. That makes sense to me. But when it's in the same agency, it's weird. But okay. If evidence is transferred, say, from the local PD to the FBI or prosecutor's office, each agency might apply its own Bates numbering system when organizing discovery, reproduction, or reformatting. Remember that one. If evidence is scanned, digitized, or recompiled into a new production set, new Bates numbers can be applied. Okay. And it says an example of that would be if a video file broken into clips might get new identifiers in the list next discovery release. Well, that makes sense. Or court-ordered redisclosure. If a judge orders redactions or requires reorganization of the evidence, the discovery set may be reissued with new Bates stamps. supplemental discovery. As far as evidence is added, numbering sometimes gets reset, or a different prefix is used to distinguish batches. Sorry. And the next one's important. It says the content of the evidence itself isn't supposed to change, just the organization label. How about that? So if we back up to reproduction or reformatting, you gotta wonder.
Yeah.
Did they change some things on this? Did they add something to this? I'm asking because we were told, oh, he looked up this on the internet. He looked up that on the internet. He had this in his phone and he had that in his phone. And I'm sorry, I don't
Did
believe
they add
anything.
that, or did they delete stuff?
That's my point. Did they add something to make him look guilty, or did they take something out to make him look guilty? Either way.
And that's what I meant when I said was something like added to or done with it.
Yeah.
And that's why they changed the numbers.
It absolutely, in my opinion, could be, because reproduction or reformatting, okay,
Is
and it says right
changing
there,
things.
yeah, 100%, it could be. And it also says the content of the evidence itself isn't supposed to change, just the organizational label. See, I would love to know what those things were on one date and what they were at a different date.
Mm-hmm.
Agencies usually keep a Bates index or crosswalk log so that attorneys can track down which old number corresponds to the new number. And that's what I found on the changing Bates number. See, I would like to see if, thank you so much, Busy, on one date when it was given a specific number, I know we'll never see it, but what the evidence was as compared to days later when it was given a different Bates number, if it was the same exact thing. And if it wasn't, there's our answer right there.
Yeah.
Hello, Tara. Thank you for joining us. I do believe it because the state was going to have Celebrite Forensics testify at trial. Believe what, Tara? Remember, Ian asked Mowry to, I think, in the hearing, if Brian's phone or computer were accessed before it was supposed to be. Yep, there you go. There you go. Yeah, agreed. So would we. We would too, Chalk Berry. I think we'd all be looking guilty because of stuff we've looked up. You're awesome, Busy. I love that.
We're all guilty.
You're right. We would be.
Oh my God, we looked something up.
Yeah, exactly. Coincidences aren't coincidences in this case. No, I agree with that, Care Bear. They're not. Miss Lucy's in the house. Good to see you, dear.
Lucy!
It absolutely was accessed prior to the USB SW for the. See? There it is. Thank you, Lucy. Oh, the download from his computer and phone. And once again, something they did wrong. Oh, sorry. We made another mistake. Bullshit. Missed me with that. I'm sorry. Everything they've done at this point, I believe, was on purpose for all their own gain. Okay. And so the next we have here, FBI PHR CFL report 114 states that an image of the above was provided to the state's subject matter experts. So whatever this image here is, which obviously we can't pull it up. The copy of all the raw data, records, handwritten notes, and forms used by Dr. Gage in the evaluation of Brian, the defense is asking that these materials be sent to Dr. Orr. And then it says a copy of the raw data from the state from Dr. Gage was requested on May 29th of 25. Dr. Gage sent the raw data directly to Dr. Orr pursuant to applicable professional ethical standards. On May 30th of 25, the state has requested the balance of this discovery request, i.e. records and handwritten notes and forms used from Dr. Gage. The state will provide upon receipt. Whose unknown male DNA was mixed with Maddie's blood on the strap of the infamous? I'd love to know, Kara, wouldn't you?
We would like to know.
It was Diego's.
Yeah, don't say that. Jesus, don't ever say that. But you never know. I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm surprised. They could put it on anybody if they want to. If there wasn't even a sheath, they have nothing. He wouldn't be looked at and therefore not guilty, but admitted guilt. But why? Because he felt cornered, Chuck. I don't think they gave him any choice of anything, to be honest with you, at this point. They threatened him, his family. They threatened Anne and her family. There was court staff threatened. and they would not give any assistance to the defense on this at all. The court denied everything, and was
Hippler
standing in front
denied
of a
everything.
wall, and there was nothing left. They had nothing left. So it's very sad. It's just very sad.
And I have a feeling, Dago, do you think that if it would have went to trial that the jury would have been threatened as well?
Very possibly. At this point, I have no doubts. I don't think Brian trusted the jury at this point and how the jury was going to be put together. I don't either. I think that's another reason why the plea was taken, because he didn't feel he was going to get anywhere. There's a few different reasons, and I think that's one of the main. I don't think Brian trusted that he was going anywhere. It was also stated, Twiz put in here a statement that was put out from somewhere that he had heard, that Brian was worried that if they didn't get the death penalty off the table, that they were going to fast track it, which means, instead of him waiting years,
30 years,
they were going to do it as fast as they could, which makes sense to me, to hurry up and get rid of him so that nothing could change. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I still feel like that could happen now. Like,
what I think is going to happen now, and I'm kind of really worried about it, is that somebody or something is going to take him out while he's in prison.
Oh, absolutely.
And then it's done. They'll wash it. That'll be the end of it.
Prison is no joke.
Yeah.
And especially there.
Well, and the fact that Brian's...
I heard it's horrible.
It is. And being that Brian's autistic, Brian is very matter of fact and go by the rules and that, and he's following the stuff that they told him he was going to be given and dealt with in the prison, and if he's not getting it, he's lodging complaints about things. That's not something you do in prison, and he doesn't quite understand that that's what happens when you do that there's going to be backlash, and that's sad to me. But based on his
and like I said, Christina was sitting there saying, oh, he's just going by the book, and she's like, no, you have to learn how to adapt.
That's it. And that's what
but you don't.
AR sent him a postcard, he told me, and it kind of had some advice on it. Whether he got it or not, AR said he has no idea. But he sent it to where he was, how, AR knows how to send to it. But and he gave him some tips on don't do this, and do this and stuff like that. And whether or not he does it or not, I don't know, but it's just to kind of keep him safe, I guess, until he can possibly get moved, because I know he's trying to get moved. I think it would be a good idea for him to get moved out of the Idaho system, maybe to PA or something where he could be closer to his family and he could work on his case. He has no access to a law library. They're not giving him anything that he should actually have. So it's
how did they get the
where
pictures?
where he might be more of just a regular person instead of
being in
you know
Idaho.
What I mean?
Sure. Somebody in the jail is selling that stuff.
Yeah.
That's it was somebody that works within the prison that's trying to make money. Somebody probably got $10,000 for those photos. You know what I mean? They probably didn't, Yvonne. I agree with you. But he tried. You know what I mean? If nothing else, he tried. So
I'm waiting for him to be the front cover of People.
Yeah. It'll happen eventually. So this next document was the order granting the independent analysis of evidence. Defense, I can't read that. It's Hitler's writing. It's horrible. And it says, the court having before it the motion for independent analysis of evidence in good cause appearing now, therefore, it is hereby ordered that the aforementioned evidence shall be made available to the defense expert, whoever that is, by the Moscow PD and or other agencies in possession of the same for independent testing and review by an independent testing agency. It is ordered that blank shall, one second. Sorry about that. It is further ordered that blank shall, at the defense counsel's expense, be allowed to conduct independent testing of the evidence, specifically the Acer laptop and Samsung phone belonging to Brian. It is further ordered that the chain of custody shall be maintained on the evidence at all times. Moscow Police Department shall hand deliver and or ship the evidence via FedEx directly to who that person is, who will ship the evidence via FedEx back to Moscow. Upon completion of testing, the evidence should be shipped to attention, whatever that says. It is further ordered that upon completion of testing by blank blank, it is to immediately notify Ann Taylor to arrange for transfer of the evidence back to the Moscow PD. It is further ordered that the results of the testing shall be considered work product of Mr. Koberger and or his attorney, and said results shall be submitted solely to the office of Ann Taylor. So that's what was supposed to happen. These numbers are changing all over the place. Maybe because it was transferred a couple of times, but the number shouldn't have changed within the same facility. That's one thing I have issues with. It's a little weird.
Right.
Making implied threats about BK. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're still doing it because I think they know things. Ask me a question, Fizzy, please. Let me ask you a question. So there's that document, too. I'm thinking we're going to have more of these that are going to pop out maybe next Tuesday. We went through these last night. 1 minute here. What is the? Do you think that laptop is a personal or school? Well, it could be either or, but they got it at his parents' house, so I'm guessing probably personal. I don't know if the school, like when you take breaks for holidays or whatever, if you're going to be off, if they make you leave your stuff in your office, or if you can take it with them to work possibly over the holidays. I don't know. But that's a good question, Busy. It's interesting. It could be either one. First off, denying a prisoner access to the library is a violation of rights. Yes, ma'am. And again, just because somebody is in prison doesn't mean that they lose all their rights. And the fact that people cheer that on is sick. It's beyond sick. The fact that people are cheering on the fact that Brian could be SA'd while in prison is disgusting beyond a level that I can't even express to you guys. It fucking pisses me off because it is no different than a woman being attacked by somebody to me. Okay. Sexual assault is sexual assault. End of story.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody deserves that. And even if this guy was guilty, okay, that's still a violation of his human rights.
Yeah.
And to allow something like that is absolutely disgusting. And
especially under a facility's
their watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, anybody that is cheering on the fact that Brian could be sexually assaulted, get your fucking head checked. You're disgusting. Okay. That's not how this works, folks. It's not what it's about. I'm sorry, but that's ignorant. Absolutely ignorant. And I've seen people doing it. Don't come to me with it because I promise you ain't gonna like what I say to you. Welcome, Melissa. Good to see you. And excuse my language, but you guys know how I get when I get upset about certain things. That's one thing that has pissed me off to no end that I've seen people doing. On a side note, those pics were staged in an old, unused office, in my opinion. No computers or anything. They were on a break, not at the end of the semester. Good point, Yvonne. Very well could be.
Well, didn't they say in the beginning that Brian's apartment was an absolute mess?
They tried. The only thing that was a mess was he had a shelf in his closet that had all his like documents and paperwork and stuff. They were just kind of messed up. It wasn't a mess. Everything else looked okay to me.
Well, yeah, it does now. Now that they're showing it, and I'm like, okay, if he's a gamer, he certainly has lots of pillows to put down because
he didn't look messy to me. I don't know if they cleaned it up, but
the chair that he had in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't think they would though. Zakali, sorry, not sorry. That pisses me when it hits close to home too. Yes, it does. Agreed. I thought the same about Fast Track. Well, Twiz told us that statement was made somewhere from Brian, and I can get it. Considering what else they've done to him, why would that be so hard to believe that they would try to fast track the death penalty if it would have been left on the table? So there, in turn, I believe that Ann did the best she could do, and at least did her job by removing that from the table, in my opinion. So, no, you don't have to chill out, guys. Speak your mind in here, folks. I promise you that's what this is about. I want to hear people's thoughts and be real about it too. Don't worry about it. You don't have to chill out. Just because a male report that type of harassment, the fact that it gets laughed at is sick. Yes, it is. That's what pisses me off. Well, we all know that if it was a female that reported it, a guard, people would be outraged 100%. Like I said, it is no different to me. Okay. It's still a violation of somebody's rights, their personal rights, their human rights, and the violation of where you're at. They are supposed to protect them, even though they're prisoners. Now, granted, there are people that I probably wouldn't stand up so much for. Somebody like Stephen Stearns or something that we know for a fact has hurt other
Did what he
people.
did.
Yes. Okay. That's a little different to me, but it is still not something that I wouldn't cheer it on in that aspect because
No.
it's still a violation of you as a person. That's all I'm saying. I think Stephen Stearns deserves everything he gets for what he did to that little girl. That's a whole different story to me, but you don't put this out to the world to get people to cheer it on. That's sickening to me. I'm sorry.
But it's also 100% clear what Stephen Stearns did.
And that's a difference right there.
It's
We know.
not 100% clear what Brian Koberger did.
Bingo. And Stephen knows what he admitted to his shit too. Everybody's trying to say that to Brian. He took a plea deal. He admitted to it. There's photographs of it. We all knew what he did. Different story, folks. Just saying. Any action we investigated. It should be, but it won't be, Fizzy, and you know that. You know it won't be.
Kind of like Mrs. G. Christie said.
Yeah.
In court.
Yep. You mean Olivia? What Olivia said?
No, what Christie said.
I didn't hear. I heard Olivia call him. Say it again.
She said, "I'm not going to say the word, but it starts with a D."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I know what you meant. Well, the statement that Olivia made was not something. What's up, Jesse? She should have said that, but she said that on purpose, in my opinion, knowing that this would be seen on the news and that inmates could see that and possibly use that against him. Just saying, that's my opinion. Oh, Aubrey. Yeah, that was what Aubrey said. I know what you're talking about. Christy said something for Aubrey, and those were the words that Aubrey had said, and Christy repeated them for her because she couldn't be there. Yeah, there's a difference.
Oh, yeah, and they made a big deal about it because Aubrey was a minor.
Yeah, she was younger.
Talking that way. Yeah.
I was a teenager when people in Florida were tailgating outside the prison for the Bundy execution. I thought that is sickening. Anybody that would tailgate for something like that, it's just let the law handle it the way the law does. There's no reason to have a party for it. There's no reason to celebrate things like that in that sense. I think that's a bit too much. I'm saying people go too far with that shit, and it's really not the way things should be. Especially any kind of sexual assault is just wrong. Just saying. I think that's it for these documents. There should be more coming. I think we did cover them all. Yeah, I got all these yesterday. I thought there was more for some reason, but I guess not. There will be coming this week. I can almost guarantee there's going to be more that drop in here. I do want to. We're still going to discuss these things and other things, but I do want to review, if you guys don't mind, this interview that came out yesterday or last night, I think it was. Give me a second here to remove some of this stuff. Okay. Thank you, Aries. It is gross that a mother would encourage and be proud of their child for inciting. Yes, beyond sickening. And I understand these people are upset. They're hurt. Their child lost their life. That's not the way you do this. It's just not the way you do this.
But you also don't want an innocent person to lose their life over it either.
No. And they don't even want to look at that. They look right around that. They're saying they're reading these documents. They're reading these reports. How do you not see these things that we see then?
And ask questions. If you're any sort of an investigator, Steve G.
There you go. Well,
sorry.
To me, they do see it, but they're looking around it. That's a problem. That is a problem. All right, guys, let me pull this up real fast here. Get this.
So do you think that the parents have seen a picture of the sheath?
No.
So why is Steve G not asking about that? To me, that would be something huge, you know?
I'm sure that he is. They're just not giving him anything, Terry. They haven't given him, based on what he's told the world, He's asked for things and begged for things, and they won't show him shit. They told him, based on what he told us, that they're going to make him FOIA everything. Are you serious?
Oh my Lord.
Why would you? These are the victims' families. They deserve that. You owe that to them, especially now since you did what you did and lied to them. You owe them this shit. Now they have to pay and FOIA that? No.
They can can't they absolutely sue him?
I hope they do. They should. And I hope that they go to the Department of Justice and just
Yeah.
blow this out of the water. Truly, I hope they do. So Brian Anton did this interview with Stacy. I was told that there's some interesting stuff in here. I guess, let me see here. We're going to find that out right now. Thank you guys again for all you guys being here. I'm going to start this and I'm going to take off for a quick second while I was playing to get my copy refilled. And I'll be right back as it's playing.
And who is, of course, the mother of Ethan Chapin, who's one of the Idaho victims from the Idaho murders, along with one of the executives from Othram. And Othram is this new cutting-edge forensics company. They actually are the ones who tested the knife sheath initially and figured out that there was DNA on it, which really cracked open the case and led everything back to Brian Kohberger. I met up with Stacy here where I am now at CrimeCon, which is this big crime convention in Denver. But I wanted to share this conversation with you because I've always had so much respect for Stacy, but it's also fascinating the world of forensics and how what they're learning could actually help other unsolved cases too. So Stacy, I'll start with you. I just wanted to say, to sort of get off my chest, like how much you've inspired so many people who have been following this case, me included. Just the way you've handled, the way your family has handled all of this with such class and dignity. And I think you have inspired a lot of people who are going through things and that they can kind of get out on the other side. And now partnering or working with Othram, it seems like you're kind of entering sort of, in a way, like the next chapter.
I don't disagree with that, actually. It feels like a very natural transition, I guess. I didn't know where it was all going to end or begin or how it was ever going to play out. But it made perfect sense when when the gag order was lifted and we could have a conversation. It made perfect sense. Because we're a face, we're a victim. We have been, Othram is involved in our case. And so it's just, it makes sense, right? And thank you. I mean, we've tried to take the high road through our case, through the entire, it's been it'll be 3 years in November, obviously, but.
You just said that Stacy and the way that she handled this inspired you. I had a question. I have this question all the time from people. How do you do the job that you do, see such evil and not be affected by it? And I have to say that I do. I see some really terrible things and some really terrible parts of humanity. But then I also see pure light. And I feel like Stacy is one of those people that went through the worst of what society can give you. The unimaginable. I can't imagine going through what Stacy went through. And instead of letting that define her, she's actually turned the worst experience of her life into light. And she wants to give back to the world in a positive way and advocate for justice and fairness for everyone, advocate that technology is used in real time. That means a lot to me. Although we won't go into the details of exactly how we met until tomorrow at our talks, so that people still wake up in the morning and come for our talk.
And want to come.
We bumped into each other by chance.
Yeah.
And this case was difficult because all of us.
Nothing's by chance.
And we couldn't have our first real conversation until that gag order was lifted. Yeah. And that was really difficult. Everything I do here at Othram, everything everyone here at Othram does is for the victims and their families. We're victim advocates first. And it's very difficult to meet your why and to not be able to tell them how you feel, what's going on in the case. But that's the deck of cards we were dealt in this I think indefinitely, to try to advocate that others aren't dealt the same deck of cards,
Yeah.
because it's a difficult one, right? To know that you have information that could help someone heal, that could help someone feel safe or secure, and to not be able to give it to them is difficult. To know that there's a family member out there wondering what is going on, and everything that's in the media is incorrect, for a lack of a better word, or just speculation, because everyone that worked this case, all the family members that were involved, none of us could speak to the media.
Yeah.
You know that more than anyone.
Right.
And so everyone's speaking, everyone out there giving interviews was speculating with no knowledge, with very little information what was going on. And they painted the wrong picture. And finally, we have our voices back.
Yeah, right.
And we're excited to tell the story.
Was it? Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
No,
Stacey.
I just was going to say, you have to understand it's the most advanced technology, forensic DNA technology in the world. I'm not the scientist, but I've been on the receiving end of having them not only, work on our case, but there was a comfort there. I mean, and that's part of the story we'll tell tomorrow, is that we met by chance, and I had knowledge throughout our case of what the Middlemans were doing, and I relied on that. Jim and I relied on that in our darkest moments. I didn't know anything, that I wasn't supposed to know, but it was a blessing, and victims' families should have the right to that information if they're going through the same thing we are. I mean, inevitably, there's going to be families that are in the same position we are.
Yeah, I guess there would have been a lot more certainty had it been explained.
It would have, it's definitive information. There was so much, so much speculation. There still is. It's shocking to me.
I mean, this is science.
It's scientific.
Yeah,
right?
No speculation.
I mean, if you knew definitively that knife sheath was, without a shadow of doubt, which is the case, now that it's all said and done, it would have been different going through. You would have relied on, you kind of went, okay, maybe we don't need to worry as much as we need to worry.
Yeah, and there was one advanced forensic test performed. There was one profile. There was so much speculation out there about multiple profiles, incongruent information. There is only one lab that is doing this type of DNA technology that tested that DNA, and it's ours. And I couldn't come forward and say, no, this is definitive. Right. There is one profile with these matches that led to this conclusion that pointed directly to Brian Kohlberger's family, right? None of that could be said before, and that was very frustrating. And to not be able to tell the family or to talk about it, the law enforcement agents that worked this case couldn't talk about it. No one that had any information could correct the record.
Right.
And so what ended up happening is everyone tried to figure out, why was this information not out there? What was missing? What was the missing component? And came up with a whole bunch of speculations that led to uncertainty. And that uncertainty continued to grow. And I think that was the most difficult on the victim's family.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
And no one else, right? Like, I was certain the entire time because I saw the science. I knew the results.
Yeah. So, no, I'm sorry, but no, I don't believe that at all.
Bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
I apologize, but no, you're full of shit. Now stop. This woman right here, no. I saw it. Sorry. No, you didn't.
Right? I never had one doubt in my mind that we'd be sitting here today, whenever today was, whether it's after the trial, before the trial, at a plea. I knew that this day was going to come, but the victims' families didn't have that certainty. I don't even know if law enforcement involved in the case had that certainty. I don't know how far the results actually propagated as the full result of the investigation, because everything was kept so under wraps. And I think that needs to change. Stacey's right. This technology is superior to traditional DNA testing. Traditional DNA testing looks at 20 markers and is there to confirm identity. It was purpose-built in the 90s to help confirm someone's identity or connect someone to multiple crimes if they're a serial perpetrator. Our technology takes place much earlier in an investigation. We can infer someone's identity because we're looking at hundreds of thousands of markers, almost 1 million markers every time we build one of these DNA profiles. So we can infer identity by looking at 6 cousins, 5th cousins, 4th cousins, and figuring out who left that DNA at the crime scene.
That's making her.
We're giving that information to law
Serial perpetrator?
because there are questions in our talk.
Do you realize she just said that all of LE? Yeah, she did. 100%. Yeah, with that dumb look on your face, you just said that. Wow.
And she also called him a serial perpetrator.
Yeah.
And Dago, didn't she just I'm sorry, but did she just say that their technology or whatever goes way before anything else?
Yep.
Isn't that going away from what she's trying to prove?
Well, in some sense, yeah, I guess you could say that for sure.
Because if they're saying that it can be in the way, more beginning of an investigation, then doesn't that mean that it could have been on there before it happened? I mean,
yeah, and I'm not saying what I'm saying to Stacy here because she has no idea. She's only knows what they tell her. So
I'm scratching.
I don't
my
believe
head.
that.
About this stuff, I mean, this
I
kind
do
of.
not believe that she only knows what people tell her. I think she knows more than Steve does.
I think she, as far as this, Terry, this whole IgG, or I'm sorry, well,
it's kind of funny that Othram's the one that finally found the DNA, enough DNA, and they made it grow.
It's very much it's very interesting that nobody else could find it until it went to them. I do believe that.
And she's supporting Othram.
And of course, when the FBI used the back door that they weren't supposed to use as well, so on and so forth.
It's because Othram found an answer for her.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's the answer right there.
If anyone else would have found an answer, she would have been with them.
Right. And then, like Lucy said, because they know that they were going into databases that people opted out of. 100%. Yes. So, yeah. Agreed. I do agree with that. Hey, Kat. Good to see you, dear. It is bizarre, Jay. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, everybody says that she has stayed out of it. She and her husband, they're not the ones that have been talking stuff. They've been to True
Crime Con, multiple crime cons.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went to the one in Orlando.
She's been on Good Morning America. She's written a book. She's provided a scholarship that her son won. Her sister or her daughter became Sigma Chi's sweetheart. Come on, people.
Yeah, like you said, they've made other public statements saying as much. My issue, and listen, I mean this with all due respect, because I can't imagine any parent going through what they went through. They made a statement that really bothered me. I mean, it continues to bother me. I think it might have been in the Dateline episode, but they said, if I can remember word for word, that they started referring to them as twins.
Yeah. Yeah, that was in Dateline.
Okay. And
that was very odd to me.
When she said that, I kind of cocked my head sideways. I have a set of twins. They're very close. But triplets are triplets. There's 3 of them. Just because one was killed doesn't mean that he doesn't exist in their life anymore. But that's what they basically said.
What does she know, Dago, that we don't know? Because she is, if as a parent, there is no way an HELL that I would send my children back to the same school that their brother was.
Oh, I agree.
Brutally murdered. And she had no qualms.
They had no qualms.
Nope, I agree.
To send them back. She didn't care if they tore down the house. I mean, come on. What is up with her?
I have no idea. It's very strange. I will tell you, it is very strange.
And then in the very first interview that she does, the very first thing that comes out of her mouth are the 2 things. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that this was not drug related and it wasn't some love triangle. What?
Because she doesn't want her son's name wrapped up in something like that. But I'm sorry to
Yeah.
say it, but it definitely is related to drugs, in my
I mean, when
opinion.
she said that, I was thinking that is not the first thing as a mom I would say. I'm sorry, I
As
wasn't
a
even
gr-
thinking that.
As a grieving mom,
Yeah. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Twiz,
I
what's
just had
up,
to say
bud?
what I thought.
Twiz says that Maisie and Hunter decided to do that because people. Well, then you know what? I would say we lost him. There's a third one, but we lost him. I don't like the way that was done. It bothers me. It seems like it's like erasing him, and I don't think that's
it
what it is.
is. It does sound like they're trying to just out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? Or out of mind, out of sight, and just
Right.
not.
I agree with Lucy. Right there. She absolutely has known all along who did it and why. I 100% agree with you, Lucy.
But why would you
A lot of
cover it
people.
up?
A lot of people feel that, and a lot of people think that these guys here know more about everything than the Gonsalves do. That the Gonsalves were fed what they were fed and used for what they were because they're they're unhinged. The Chapins are very calm, relaxed, and much more professional per se. And I think that might be why, if they do know things, that's why per se. I'd still like to know what that means, Gaia. The 2 a.m. thing. I really would like to know what
The
that means.
2
Oh, yeah, I
a.m. is
forgot
the
about
dark
that.
hour.
Yeah, I would really like to understand that.
Why is 2 a.m. the dark hour, Stacy? The
I've heard that Moonlit. I've heard that they were friends with him too. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard
oh goodness.
Wait, what?
that they were close to Scott Green and golfed with him and things like that.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Oh, absolutely. There's no way in hell anybody can see it otherwise. Jim doesn't say nothing. What's up, Matt? Good to see you, brother. Maisie's comment still bothers me that it was weird for Ethan to text I love. Yeah, that is strange. I thought. It's the whole dynamic is weird. It's just weird.
Well, because they seem to be like very and I'm not taking this away from them because I'm kind of the same way, but they seemed to like move on from it like very quickly, in my opinion.
Very quickly, very easily.
I mean, I didn't like I lost my mom. I didn't lose a son.
Right.
You know, I don't know.
That's another good question, Gaia. Why is everybody connected in this case? They are in a lot of ways. It's weird.
And what about the fact that it's very obvious that they did not care for Xana.
Oh, that was said in the beginning, but then it changed up, I guess, more recently, but whatever. Yeah, I agree with that 42. He couldn't be. That's why they gave him the information they did, because they knew he'd put it out and it drove that specific narrative that way. It's crazy. 100% Dago, you say we lost our brother or our brother passed. You don't right. That's what I said. It just bothers me. That's their choice, their family, their child, and their brother. So be it. It's not my right to say what they do with it, but it is my right to express my feeling that it just bothers me. That's all I'm saying.
and it's not the way that I would go about it.
A lot of people wouldn't, right? Yeah. Yep. I agree, Jay. It's very strange.
Today for David, and I'm sure I'm going to talk tomorrow, that we don't tell them this is your perpetrator. We say this person's profile, or one of these 2 or 3 people in this family left DNA at this crime scene, meaning that they then need to investigate. They need to contextualize that information. They knew in the Kohlberger case that there was a white Elantra that was seen at the crime scene. Now they knew that there was a family in Pennsylvania that was identified. Could they look up a white Elantra that had a Pennsylvania plate or a Pennsylvania driver? Of course they could. And that's part of their investigation. I don't know the order of which the investigators actually investigated that case, but they were able to piece all those pieces together because we gave them the information that we gave them. And as they pieced all those puzzle pieces together, it became very clear that there was only one suspect that was possible.
But they only gave you a certain amount of information, you
you
dumbass.
Want other families
Sorry.
who are going, I mean, do you think things need to change?
No, you're right. It's very true. They did. They only gave them a certain amount of information, period. I love how they're talking themselves up. It's a joke.
Absolutely.
Nationwide.
And I don't know what the answer to that is. I mean, we're just getting started on this. But you know, even if you don't know anything, but you know that Othram was involved in identifying a perpetrator, you know that's it's a comforting piece of information. The rest of it takes all of law enforcement as well, right? I mean, it still takes this entire case. Yeah. So, but there is a piece that is definitively in that home.
I think that, I'm trying to remember how, but I think it leaked out at one point. I forget. Often it came out at some point.
It did.
I don't remember how exactly.
Bingo, Ivy. Even if what Othram is stating is true, it still doesn't mean the DNA wasn't planted there, placed there, and I still haven't seen a sheath. That's all I'm saying. 100%.
I think it was a New York Times article.
That's right.
Maybe right or wrong about that being the first source, but they had pulled a contract between Idaho State Police and Othram for this type of advanced DNA testing. And so they said, well, they're in contract, so it's very possible that Othram is the lab, but Othram will give no comment, as we couldn't give a comment at the time.
Yeah. And, and in this case specifically, which is very interesting, and I don't think we'll talk about this tomorrow, is that had it happened 7 miles west in Washington State, they might not have had knowledge of Othram. So the only reason that this thing went to Othram is because the Idaho State Patrol forensic scientists about them.
And now she's praising the Idaho State Patrol.
And they brought it. They're like, we got to take a chance on this company. And
Stacy, honey.
Had it
So
gone
did
to
she choose Othram?
people didn't know, then
Say again?
Did she choose Othram?
No,
That's what it sounds like. They chose Othram because 8 miles away, they never would have heard of it.
Right. It was Idaho State Police.
But now she's praising Idaho State Police for choosing Othram.
Yeah, wow.
This is unbelievable.
I think she's invested in Othram at this point now. Why they're doing this right now?
And you do know she's probably making buck for doing this.
Of course. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, Othram has done some good jobs on closing some cold cases, but this situation
is not one of them. It ain't one.
It's not the right way. Hey, Whitney.
They said that they have been in business since 1990 something. There is no way you can tell me that Washington, that every state doesn't know about them.
Of course.
This is why I'm glad I'm not there right now, because
oh my gosh.
I'd just be sitting in the corner.
Shaking your head.
Mm-hmm.
Does FBI, does Washington not have any FBI?
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you.
potentially it would have gone I don't know that it would have gone unsolved because that's not my job. It would have just taken more time.
Well, she's really, really, really glorifying these guys, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
Wow.
And I like her. I think she's probably a very great lady. Like,
yeah, but I think this is over the top with this author.
Nothing against her.
No.
Like otherwise, I guess. But Stacy, get your head out of the gutter, honey.
Yes.
Get your head out of your butt.
They are very well off. from my understandings. I don't know. This is just a bit much in my opinion. That's all I'm saying. On we go.
Right?
So are there so many cases out there that could be solved
Yes.
if what the police just don't know to call you, or what's
Yes,
the?
and
Yeah.
you know what? That's what keeps me up at night because this technology will get adopted. It's clear that it's predictable, it's robust, it's scalable, it's being adopted. You can see that in 2019 we solved 5 cases. We solved 5 cases today while we've been sitting here, right?
Yeah, 5 cases today.
It's scaling, right?
Yeah.
And those are announcements, which are about 10% of the cases we actually solve. And so, of course, this technology is being adopted. There's almost no state in the United States that isn't now using this technology or hasn't tried it at least once at Othram. So I do believe that in the next few years, everyone will be using this technology. The state labs will have access to this in their own laboratory. They won't even need to send the evidence to Othram anymore. And I'm so excited about it. But if that takes 10 years versus 3, how many victims in between will be unnecessary victims of serial rapists, serial killers that weren't caught the first time they committed the crime? We were able to stop Brian Kohlberger in this case before he committed that next crime. And
Are you kidding me?
Would be, right? I mean,
Go ahead.
She just called him another serial killer. She just called him a serial killer once again.
Mm-hmm. Well, 3 or more. That's how it's classified now. But just saying.
Until he commits his next serial killer, whatever.
Yeah, not in this case. Oh, there we go. Lucy's talking about the spatial trapping again. I love it, Lucy. I love it. Yeah, this is crazy. This is definitely wild.
And yet they didn't even send the sheet there. They sent a Q-tip swab.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that Q-tip could have swabbed everything up to Brian's asshole for all we know.
Who knows? We do know it grew.
Sure thing. This case was just a plug for Othram. It sure as hell seems like it.
Uh-huh.
Sure as hell seems like it, Meg. Micro Blue, good to see you. That's why we watch these things, you guys, because these things are insane in some aspects with these interviews and these statements that are put out. It's crazy. Yeah, right. Exactly, Jen. The state can't even put him in the house. Bullshit. You didn't do shit on this one, Othram. That's sorry, but you didn't. It is. That's what they're doing. They're selling Othram right now here, folks.
Oh, absolutely. They're at
100%.
Crime Con.
Selling Othram is what they're doing. Trying to sell the IgG shit. I mean, come on.
And they're also, you have to realize they're at Crime Con that I heard is having 7,000 people right now.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're trying to sell this story to 7,000 people.
Yes, ma'am.
Who are crime junkies.
Of course.
I will hope they're trying to sell it to Washington. Since Washington doesn't know about them.
Yeah, right. Well, Washington and Idaho work together too. That's the thing, but whatever. Anyway, more craziness to come.
and that's what, we've sat and talked a lot about. You don't know who that person would have been that got saved.
What is it like for you to meet the person or the people who, it's so scientific what they did, but to put a face to it.
It's amazing. Jim and I hopped the first plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, we flew to Houston, and then Maisie and I have been back. I feel forever indebted to them. I have a list of people in my heart that, since November 13th that I feel that way about, and they're on the list. Thank God that they developed something that helped our case, right?
And what about for you? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. I just want to say, plus they're incredible people. They're not they've just created something. They genuinely care about the outcome, and they care about the people involved. They're just
No, they don't.
And that says a lot about the company as well.
No, they don't.
People there.
And for you, what you do is so scientific, but to put a face, to actually see the difference that you made.
Our technology is based in science and certainty, but our mission is based in advocacy. We all came from a biomedical background, working at the forefront of biomedical research or consumer genomics, but these are fields that are well funded. And we moved into forensics where there isn't funding for this new technology to make a difference because there weren't enough people working on this problem. And so I think that that's selected for a team of people that were either affected by crime or someone that they really loved was affected by crime, that understand how broken the current system really is. And so it's selected for people that are relentless in the pursuit of justice here, in the pursuit of creating this infrastructure to help everyone. And so I think we're more mission driven than we are science driven. For me, for sure, it's all heart. And getting to meet Stacy just solidifies that for me. I mean, how could you meet someone that you altered their trajectory in life, right? She won't have to wonder if that person's still out there for the next few years. She won't have to worry about her other two
There
children
is a
being
question.
victims of that serial.
She's going to really, really, really regret making that statement right there one day.
But there is a question, though.
In my opinion, that statement she just made, you're going to regret that in a bad, bad way, lady. What were you saying there, JC?
She said she doesn't have to question that he's still out there. But there is a question.
Yeah, and that statement right there, when it's proven at some point, I pray to God that Brian had nothing to do with this, you're going to look like the biggest fool. And it's going to completely degrade everything you said.
Diego, like, I'm not discounting them that they can't do, that they can't prove highly scientific,
No, of course not. But they didn't in
things.
this case.
But in this case, it's just not the full story.
Right.
It's just
You
not.
may have found his DNA. Okay.
Yeah.
You may have found his DNA, but it ain't how you thought you did. Period. That's not how you got it.
This is disturbing. This is absolutely disturbing.
100%. What's that, Moonbreaker? Yeah, I agree with you, Jace.
Killer, and she knows the answer. And I don't believe in closure when something this terrible happens to you. No, but I do believe that the truth allows you to turn the page to that next chapter of, well, what is next? And for Stacy, it's advocacy. For everyone, it could be something different. But it allows her to live her life moving forward and not being stuck in trying to understand the past. And for Stacy's case, it happened in a matter of months. For Jim Walker's case, who spoke in David's talk a few minutes ago, it happened in 47 years. That shouldn't be the case. And unfortunately, that still is the case all too often. And in Jim's case, the perpetrator continued to murder other women and other children. And here we stop that. We stop that pattern. And someone's home having Thanksgiving with their family this year that would have been Kohlberger's next victim. And there's so much meaning to that goes so much beyond science. Right. We really are making the world a better place.
Can you stop for 1 second?
Yep,
What did she just say? That Stacy is advocating, but Jim is at home thinking about people getting murdered?
I didn't quite hear that clearly.
So she's basically saying the exact opposite of what he's thinking, the husband, and what she's thinking, the wife.
I guess I didn't even hear Jim's name. How far back was that, Terry?
It was just like it was like a minute.
Hold on. Yeah, because I want to hear that real quick. I missed that.
Who's Jim Walker? I don't know.
Do what? Who's Jim what?
Jim Walker. If you say it, then maybe you understand.
Oh, okay. Let me.
I just know that her husband's name is Jim, right?
It is.
This case had happened in a matter of months. For Jim Walker's case, who spoke in David's talk a few minutes ago, it happened in 47 years.
Different
Jim
case.
Walker.
Jim Walker, got it. Okay, so it's not Jim, her husband. Gotcha.
That shouldn't be the case. And unfortunately, that still is the case all too often. And in Jim's case, the perpetrator continued to murder other women and other children. And here we stop that. We stop that pattern. And someone's home having Thanksgiving with their family this year that would have been Kohlberger's next victim. And there's so
She has no idea that that's even a fact. She shouldn't be able to say something like that. That's defamation, in my opinion. But okay.
Mhm.
much meaning to that goes so much beyond science. Right. We really are making the world a better place.
Well, thank you both for talking to me. Thank you for showing. I mean, we just saw Gabby Petito's parents when we were walking. The fact that you all can take a tragedy and turn it into something impactful, I think, like I said, is just inspiring in a number of levels. So, and I mentioned Gabby Petito's parents because they've done, I think, the same thing.
I agree. Yeah.
So,
I mean, if we can make it better, right, for future families, victims' families, that's important because it isn't easy to go through it.
Yeah, but that to me is hope. That's the definition of hope for humanity. Yes, you do see these terrible people, but don't focus on that. Focus on these people that have just gone through the worst and are willing to turn it into something good for someone else.
And the picture's right there behind you.
Yeah, focus on that, and they're on it.
So sweet.
And that to me is, I think that's the importance of all of this.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Did they have to get permission to have Maddie's picture up there?
I mean, I think so, but I don't see anybody else's pictures up there.
That's why I wondered, because they only have Ethan and Maddie.
Right. Give me something here. It was something else I was going to review with you guys too. 1 second, guys.
It just infuriates me all over again.
Yeah. It's very, look at Lucy. She's pissed off. Big time pissed off. I don't blame her either. 1 second, you guys.
If they would have gotten the whole story, it wouldn't be as bad, but they don't have.
Nope. Sure don't. Not even close. Not even close. Where is it? Oh, hold on a minute.
And the sad thing is, Dago, is something like Othram has so much potential.
Oh yeah, I mean, they have helped solve other cold cases. They do amazing things, but don't come out here and take full credit for this, considering you don't even have the full. You don't have the full story. Period. That's all there is to it. Moscow is a dark place. Period. That's all there is to it. And
I'd be terrified.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrified.
Thank you very much. I have a couple of things I actually wanted to share. Hold on a minute. So one of the things that I have issues with throughout this entire case is the fraternities and the sororities. Okay. And I have the rules and laws that they have to follow. Bug the hell out of me. Okay. The fact you got to contact your sorority president before you call the police or somebody were to die. Miss me with that bullshit. Sorry. I'd have told somebody to shove that in their ass. There's no way in hell you're going to tell me that. And it just, I don't like how all that has gone down. I don't like the fact that these groups are involved, in my opinion. I'm not saying anybody else believes that. Involved within certain trafficking issues that they use these frats and sororities for. And you can tell me that's not true, but I believe what I believe for reasons. And it's happened in just about any other campus you can look at in the United States for a college. Okay. So just saying. And they should not allow these things to happen, but they do. And that's my issue. Okay. So there's some issues that I have with these fraternities, these sororities, big time. and I've been looking at them a lot lately, a lot more often than I did. There's a channel out here called Criminally Human. It's a newer channel, I think. I have not seen a lot by it, but I saw this was sent to me in email yesterday, and I went through it, and I thought it was kind of interesting. I wanted to share this with you guys, and then another one that I have too. I want to see your thoughts on this. Since we got through the other documents pretty quick, I said, "What the hell?" So I want to review this with you guys, and I want your thoughts on this. So again, I appreciate you guys being up here with me today. I appreciate that very much, so that you can tell me your thoughts. Let's check it out. And again, the channel, you guys, is called Criminally Human. I want to put that link in chat for you guys to go check it out. I haven't seen much of their other stuff, but this was interesting. So
Are you playing it, Dago?
Oh, good. I thought it was just me.
oh, sorry guys, I didn't share it. Good God.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
I do it all the time. This is the beginning of this is kind of funny. Because she's right. The way you can tell it was AI done, the narration on it, but it's funny as hell. Everybody wants to talk about Brian, and it's not what she's talking about, but it's hilarious. All right, let's check it out.
Welcome back to Criminally Human, where behind every headline is a person, a story, and a tragedy that didn't have to happen. Tonight, we're not just talking about the Idaho 4. We're talking about the Sigma Chi fraternity.
Can you guys hear it okay?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I just want to make sure I didn't screw that up too.
The same frat house where two of the victims, Xana Kernadel and Ethan Chapin, spent the final hours of their lives before being murdered. Before we begin, for all of you intestinal parasites, in case you've missed the title or lack comprehension, this isn't about Brian and him being guilty. This is about the fraternity. This is where you huff and puff at the screen in 3, 2, 1. Imagine huffing and puffing at your screen in real time while proving me right. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get into it. This isn't just about one tragic night in Moscow, Idaho. This is about a national fraternity with a long, disturbing history of hazing, violence, abuse, and death. And when you connect the dots, you start to see a much bigger picture. One where institutions fail, accountability is dodged, and young lives are destroyed in the name of brotherhood. Xana Kernadel and Ethan Chapin didn't just go out for a normal college night. They spent their final hours inside the Sigma Chi fraternity house. A house that isn't just about music, drinks, and parties. It's an institution with a dark record. A record of hazing, overdoses, assaults, deaths, and cover-ups that stretch coast to coast. That connection matters. Because when two victims of one of the most infamous crimes in recent history spent their last night inside Sigma Chi, it stops being just a footnote. It becomes part of the story. And ignoring it would mean ignoring a much bigger, much darker pattern. Some people might not want to hear this, but we have to say it. Xana and Ethan's last stop was the Sigma Chi fraternity house. And Sigma Chi isn't just a frat. It's a machine with a history of violence, secrecy, and scandals that stretch coast to coast. If we ignore that connection, we ignore the bigger picture. On the night of November 12, 2022, Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin attended an event at the Sigma Chi fraternity house in Moscow, Idaho. They arrived around 9 p.m. and stayed until about 1:45 a.m. And then hours later, they were murdered alongside their roommates, Madison Mogan and Kaylee Goncalves, in their off-campus home. This fraternity connection is often treated as just a piece of the timeline, a stop in their final hours. But ignoring it would be a mistake. Because Sigma Chi isn't just another party house. Across the country, it has a long, bloody trail of scandals, lawsuits, hazing rituals, overdoses, sexual assaults, and even deaths. So the fact that 2 Idaho 4 victims spent their last night inside one of these houses raises questions most people don't want to ask. Sigma Chi markets itself as one of the largest and most prestigious fraternities in America. Founded in 1855, with more than 244 active chapters and hundreds of thousands of members, it's a powerhouse. But peel back the Greek letters and polished alumni donations, and you'll find a fraternity soaked in scandal. Sigma Chi's public motto is in hoc signo vinces. In this sign you shall conquer. On the surface, it's about Constantine's holy vision before battle. But in practice, that conquest has looked less like honor and more like conquering lives, families, and justice itself. Their badge, a white cross, supposedly a symbol of purity and ideals. But how pure is a legacy littered with overdoses, hazing deaths, rape allegations, and cover-ups? That cross doesn't symbolize purity. It
Buddy
symbolizes
Bear.
how easily institutions wash blood off their hands when it's done in the name of tradition. And those founding ideals: friendship, justice, and learning. The truth. Friendship means silence. Justice means protection for the frat, not the victims. And learning. The only thing their teaching pledges is how much pain, humiliation, or risk it takes to prove loyalty. So while Sigma Chi hides behind Greek letters and polished words, the reality is darker. A machine of silence and scandal, dressed up in the language of honor. Let's walk through some of the darkest chapters in Sigma Chi's history. 2008, San Jose State University. The death of Gregory Johnson Jr. Gregory, a 20-year-old black student, was found hanging in the basement of the Sigma Chi house. The coroner ruled it a suicide, but his family never bought that story. They pointed to suspicious injuries, blood on his belongings, and what they saw as a cover-up. His mother said police treated her with disrespect and failed to investigate properly. No arrests were made. The case was left to rot for years until activists forced San Jose State to re-examine it in 2023. But even after reopening, there has still been no accountability. That's not justice, that's burying the truth. 2008 to 2010, Arizona State University. Rape lawsuit and probation. At ASU, Sigma Chi was already on probation nearly non-stop for hazing and alcohol violations. Then came a lawsuit that exposed just how dangerous the frat culture was. A woman said she was drugged and raped during a Sigma Chi toga party, waking up bruised, bleeding, and missing belongings. She begged ASU police for a rape kit and a drug test. They refused. The lawsuit accused the university of ignoring her cries for help. The case was dismissed. The fraternity denied responsibility, and no one was ever arrested. Once again, a woman's trauma was minimized to protect the frat's image. 2015 LSU, drugs, hazing, and a student death. In Baton Rouge, Sigma Chi made headlines again when a member, Sawyer Reed, died of a suspected heroin overdose. The chapter was already facing hazing complaints and drug-related rumors. LSU finally had enough. The university permanently revoked Sigma Chi's charter. This was one of the rare times an entire chapter was wiped off campus. But even then, no criminal arrests followed. Another young man dead, another chapter closed, and the same pattern. No accountability for individuals, just a reset button for the fraternity. 2013 to 2019, Nebraska, Tennessee, and James Madison University. Hazing hell. In Nebraska, pledges were forced to drink Tabasco until they vomited. At Tennessee and JMU, pledges endured beatings, forced drinking rituals, and humiliating hazing that crossed the line into abuse. The outcome: several chapters were suspended. A few members faced misdemeanor hazing charges. Most pled guilty, paid small fines, or walked away with slaps on the wrist. The fraternities reopened, business as usual, lives risked for brotherhood, but no one truly held accountable. 2024, College of Charleston. Torture level hazing lawsuit. A family from Greenville County filed a lawsuit describing Sigma Chi hazing as literal torture. Their son was forced to binge drink, screamed at, hit, and humiliated in front of other members. Videos and photos allegedly showed condiments poured on pledges, pledges crawling on the ground, and dangerous stunts meant to break them. The family is suing for over $10 million. The case is still active. The fraternity denies everything. And still, no one has been arrested. 2025, University of Central Florida. Pledges used as crash test dummies. At UCF, pledges reported being forced to stand in front of moving cars while frat members drove at them. One pledge said his bones were broken in the hazing. This isn't a prank. This is attempted manslaughter dressed up as initiation. UCF suspended the chapter immediately, and police confirmed they were investigating felony hazing. As of now, no arrests have been made. Just another investigation hanging in the balance. 2025, University of Georgia. Filmed hazing and abuse. At UGA, Sigma Chi faced scrutiny after videos leaked of pledges being forced into extreme binge drinking, humiliation rituals, and abusive behavior caught on tape. The fraternity's activities were frozen pending investigation. Once again, no arrests reported. Once again, accountability paused, not delivered. Fraternities love to sell the myth of brotherhood, loyalty, tradition, bonds for life. But look closer at Sigma Chi, and you'll see a system that protects itself no matter the cost. Gregory Johnson's death was brushed off as a suicide while his mother begged for answers. At LSU, a student overdosed and died, and the punishment was shutting down a house, not holding people responsible. At UCF, kids were being used as human speed bumps, and the outcome is always the same: suspensions, lawsuits, or charter revocations, but rarely arrests, rarely jail time, rarely justice. That's not brotherhood. That's a machine built on secrecy and silence, where the only rule is protect the frat, no matter who dies along the way. So what does this mean for Idaho for? It doesn't mean Sigma Chi committed the murders. But it does mean that the culture surrounding Xana and Ethan on their last night alive was tied to a fraternity with one of the darkest records in Greek life. Xana and Ethan weren't just random students at a random party. Their last hours were spent in a space defined by secrecy, ritual, and silence. And if Sigma Chi has taught us anything through decades of scandals, it's that silence always protects the house first. These aren't isolated scandals. This is a national pattern of hazing, abuse, death, lawsuits, and cover-ups. And when we see two victims' final hours connected to Sigma Chi, it demands that we at least recognize the environment they were in. An environment where silence and protection of image matter more than accountability or truth. The Idaho 4 murders were already a tragedy. But when you place them against the backdrop of Sigma Chi's national reputation, you start to see how institutions repeatedly fail to protect students. Police mishandled the crime scene. Prosecutors cut deals that infuriated families. Universities protected fraternities instead of victims. And Sigma Chi's history shows us this isn't about one house, one chapter, or one city. It's about a culture of recklessness protected by silence and denial. Xana and Ethan's deaths weren't caused by Sigma Chi, but the fact that they were inside that machine on their final night should haunt us. Because when patterns repeat, it's never coincidence. It's culture. When we talk about Sigma Chi's history, it's not just about individual scandals. It's about the cost of silence year after year. Universities depend on fraternities for money, alumni donations, and prestige. Police departments rely on them to avoid messy headlines that make the town look unsafe. And prosecutors know that going hard after well-connected young men with wealthy families doesn't always pay off in court. So what happens? Hazing deaths get called accidents. Overdoses get written off as poor personal choices. Lawsuits get settled quietly. And the fraternity keeps recruiting the next class of pledges like nothing happened. Look at San Jose State again. Gregory Johnson's death didn't just devastate his family. It exposed how quickly an institution can decide a young black man's life is expendable. His mother has said repeatedly that she believes racism and indifference played a role in how the case was handled. Instead of transparency, she got silence. Instead of justice, she got excuses. And even now, with the case reopened, the odds of accountability are slim, because the longer time passes, the easier it is for institutions to hide the truth. Or take the women who spoke out against Sigma Chi at Arizona State. Imagine surviving that trauma, filing a lawsuit demanding justice, and being told the evidence wasn't strong enough because the very people who should have collected it refused to do their jobs. The lack of a rape kit, the lack of drug testing, wasn't just negligence. It was protection. Protection for the fraternity. And betrayal for the victim. At LSU, a young man died of heroin use tied to Sigma Chi members. A charter was revoked. But how many families knew that meant the same fraternity could pop up again under another name at another campus? That's the cycle. Shut them down here, let them flourish somewhere else. The system doesn't care about reform. It cares about appearances. And this brings us back to Idaho. When you understand how Sigma Chi has operated across the country, it's impossible not to wonder what role silence, secrecy, and self-protection played in Moscow. Did anyone at the fraternity house see something that night? Did anyone hear something? Was anyone questioned as thoroughly as they should have been? We don't know. But what we do know is this. History tells us fraternities don't talk. They close ranks. They protect the house. And that silence has cost lives before. When you look closely at Sigma Chi, or really Greek life as a whole, you start to notice patterns that look less like brotherhood and more like a cult. Think about it. Blind loyalty, complete obedience to older members, secrecy that overrides morality, and rituals that are only revealed to insiders. That's not friendship, that's indoctrination. Hazing isn't random, it's ritualistic. Sleep deprivation, forced drinking, humiliation, and physical pain. These are all tools cults use.
Um, I think there's more to Hudson's story than that too, Waybird. I think there is, and I think Ethan knew things about that as well. Just saying.
Used to break someone down psychologically and rebuild them in the group's image. In Sigma Chi, pledges are forced through these trials to prove loyalty. And once you've been broken, once you've bled for the group, once you've suffered to belong, you're less likely to ever walk away, no matter what crimes you see or what lines get crossed. And here's the darker thought. What if some of these hazing rituals aren't just about breaking in pledges, but about moving members higher in the hierarchy? What if the violence, the secrecy, the humiliation serves a double purpose? Not just initiation, but elevation. In many organizations with cult-like traits, blood rituals, abuse, and even death aren't seen as tragedies. They're seen as the price of power. It's the same playbook you see in groups like the Illuminati. Secrecy, hidden knowledge, staged suffering, and rituals that demand unquestioned loyalty if you want to move up. It's the same thing gangs do when they jump someone in, forcing violence and humiliation as a way to strip away individuality and rebuild obedience. Whether it's a street gang or a secret society, the formula doesn't change. Break the person down, demand silence, then reward the ones who play by the rules with status, protection, and power. So when you look at fraternities like Sigma Chi, the parallels are undeniable. The rituals, the secrecy, the unquestioned obedience. It's cult-like, it's systemic, and it's dangerous. Now bring this back to Idaho. Xana and Ethan spent their last hours inside that Sigma Chi house. We don't know what went on that night. We don't know who saw what. But we do know this. Fraternities thrive on silence, secrecy, and loyalty above all else. And when you combine that with a culture of ritualized violence, the line between initiation and something much darker gets very blurry. So here's what we're left with. A fraternity with more scandals than it has chapters, a culture where silence is the rule, and a track record where death, real trauma, and abuse are written off as the price of tradition. Gregory Johnson's family still has no answers. Women at Arizona State were denied basic evidence collection. Parents in Charleston are still fighting for justice in court. And all the while, Sigma Chi insists it's about brotherhood and honor. But honor doesn't look like broken bones from hazing. Brotherhood doesn't look like overdoses in frat houses. Tradition doesn't look like young women waking up bruised and bloodied in a place that claims to value respect. And it damn sure doesn't look like coffins piling up while the same fraternity continues to hold initiations every fall. That's why this matters. Because Sigma Chi is more than a party backdrop in the Idaho 4 case. It's a symbol of a culture that has destroyed lives from California to Florida, from Baton Rouge to Moscow. And until we start calling it out for what it is, not just boys being boys, but a system of silence, abuse, and denial, nothing will change. This isn't about smearing students. This is about demanding accountability from the organizations that profit off of their recklessness. This is about shining a light on the institutions that protect Greek life while burying victims' stories. And this is about refusing to let the cycle continue unchallenged. Because make no mistake, every time a university lets Sigma Chi off the hook, every time police refuse to press charges, every time prosecutors look the other way, they're sending a message. The message is that image is more important than truth, that tradition is more important than safety, and that your child's life is expendable if it means the machine keeps running. I'll end with this. If we're going to talk about trauma, let's talk about real victims tied to this fraternity. The families of Gregory Johnson Jr., still begging for answers. The young women at Arizona State who were denied rape kits and drug tests. The parents in Baton Rouge who buried their son after a hazing overdose. The pledges at UCF who were broken, literally, when they were used as crash test dummies. That is what we call real trauma and pain. And families left shattered. Not the selective tears and shaky voices of Ms. Tooth and No Tears. Whether you liked it or disliked it, this has been another episode of Criminally Human, where the truth has no filter. Make sure to like or dislike, drop a comment and subscribe. The more you engage, the further the truth spreads. Thank you all so much for helping to get the truth out.
I just thought that was kind of interesting.
You ready for me to say something?
Go for it.
Okay. I saw Wade Bird, Christine, you said that, and you're right. a lot of my girlfriends just had their daughters go through Rush and sons go through Rush. And you're right. It has changed a lot in the sense that when I was in school, you could have, constantly you could have kegs on. You couldn't have them at the sorority. You couldn't do drugs or smoke or, have any type of alcohol in the sorority house. Okay. It was very, very safe. Okay. It was safer than it living in a dorm, to be quite honest. Fraternities, you could have kegs. So they had keg parties all the time. Okay. But I can honestly say I've never heard one person when I went to school that went through this, and I'm sure they hazed. Yeah, they hazed, but nobody died or nobody got sick or nothing like that. Now, that was a long time ago. And parents are, my age are still putting kids through Rush. Now they're being, they're brothers, they're bonding. They have to do, just like they said with the, like if you have, you get jumped to be a gang or whatever it be. Think about firemen, they're brothers. You don't think they do so? They're a fraternity. What about policemen? What about special ops? They make their men sit out there in the cold water forever. I'm just saying, and I did look, and no, you do not have to call the sorority before you called 911. That is a falsehood, and anybody can check it out on Chat GPT. Do I think that the cartels are invading a lot of our college campuses? Absolutely. Do I think things have changed a lot? Absolutely. They can't have kegs on, sororities can't have kegs anymore. So if you go to a party, you have to bring your own alcohol and you get carded. It's like going to a bar, BYOB. I don't really know much more than that. Do I think that it's all sunshine and roses? No, but I don't think anything that a brotherhood or something like that is involved in is not going to be all sunshines and roses. I hate to hear these stories. It makes me sick to my stomach. That's all I really have to say, but that's what I know of the fraternity sorority system.
Well, the only reason why I made that statement is because we pulled up a listing of rules a couple years back, and that was the first rule in a sorority.
It says if it's not now here's the thing. If it's a hazing accident, I could see how that would be something different. You see what I'm saying?
No. It said in the event, I think I showed it to you guys not too long ago either. In the event of a death, you are to contact, you do not contact families or police. You contact the president of the sorority and they will collaborate and tell you what to do first. Swear to God,
Okay.
Terry.
Well, I just pulled it up on Chat GPT. And it did not say that. It said the exact what I said, but
it may have
I'm not looking at the exact, but that searches the web and pulls it up. But I'm just saying that
it could have changed, but and who knows how old that was, but it was something. I think it was the Pi-Fi list of rules as far as, with the laws to whatever they have. So I wouldn't abide by it anyway. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, how stupid are you? If somebody died, called 911. I mean, it's just that smart.
Right.
I'm sorry, but they're not going to, especially sororities, they're just, I don't know. I mean, I don't go to school now. All I know is that I'm just going by what my friends are saying about their daughters and sons, and nothing that a lot of this stuff that I'm hearing is not the same. In fact, they've made it safer by not allowing them to have alcohol or people used to go there and smoke pot and drink, and it's not allowed anymore. And you have to keep your grades up and you have to do that. But I'm not saying they don't go through hazing and all of that. I don't know. I'm just saying that if you have a child that's going to school and wants to be in a sorority or a fraternity, make sure you do your homework. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I've looked into this. Like well, you brought up like firefighters and stuff. I did that forever. The only kind of like, what do you call, I guess, what's the, like you were talking about gains, jumping people in and stuff, like the only initiation we ever had was, hold on one second, but
do you see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm comparing it to brotherhoods.
right. No, understood. But there's also the sororities, and they may have changed things to make it safer. And I can agree with you that I've seen that, but that doesn't mean that some of these.
I don't think it's so much the house. I think it's the people. I think you have a bad apple or 2 bad apples or 3 bad apples that are, you know, that.
And that's possible too. But every kind of a group like that has some form of initiation. Like for firefighters, we would get a new guy, put him on a hose and have him stand at our trainings. And, you know, you're trained how to hold a hose, but usually there's 2 guys on the hose and they only crank it up so much. We'd full throttle the hose and it would pick him up off the ground and throw him all over the place. That was initiation, or you get sprayed down by the hose, you know.
And that was just one. That was just one. You know, one place, right? I
right,
mean,
but
who knows what they do in Indiana?
Well, I mean, I think that's in those aspects, right? But they're never meant to hurt somebody. Some of this hazing stuff, from the stuff I've looked up as far as hazing, it is dangerous in some aspects, like drinking.
And they have really cut down. I mean, the colleges have cut down on the drinking and the ability for them to drink underage, which would be a pledge, right?
Hey, Meg. Yeah.
I think that things have changed. I think that it's just a matter of before, just do your research.
It could just be this one. Okay, don't get me wrong. It's not. I'm not saying it's everywhere. That's next show that I'm gonna show you. This is based in Idaho, not just Stigma Chi everywhere. This next one is what has happened in Idaho. So you're right. It could be bad apples within this vicinity, not everywhere. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's the people in the fraternity. You forget. Don't blame the fraternity. It's the people in the fraternity.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Echo. I didn't see who got that. Congrats to whoever got the membership. And Echo, that was so very generous and sweet of you. Thank you so very much for that. Very sweet. So this
That's
one,
all.
like
I'm not trying to say, you know, and then you hear bad things about police brotherhoods with the Masons and that sort.
Yeah, there's different things in different areas. Any kind of a club per se, I guess you could call it, has different rules and different things that do happen. Summer J, good to see you. Yeah, they're scattered too. This one here, Idaho has a lot of bad blood floating around with their fraternity.
I was gonna say it's the portal from hell.
They've had a lot of probationary issues go on, so on and so forth. So this next one that we're looking at, Casper put this out again, guys. Go, if you haven't been following any of the stuff that he does, go check him out. He does great stuff. I like it. And this is interesting too. This stays within the Idaho 4 situation. I was just showing that because it relates to this as well. Key Boom, welcome. Good to see you. All frats still cover up. Sororities do it too, some senses too. So yeah, it just depends on the situation, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you feel like your son or daughter is, just make sure you have a good connection with them, and
right,
that has a lot to do with parents too, right?
It can. It definitely can.
Out of North Idaho, the Moscow Police Department says officers found the body of a young Boise man this morning.
Huddy. Hey.
The body of 19-year-old Hudson Lindow of Boise was found in Paradise Creek near College Avenue in Moscow this morning.
Right here is the Paradise Creek, and May 1st, 2022, a 19-year-old University of Idaho student, Hudson Lindow.
The university doesn't want us to know that something is deeply wrong in this town. It seems that anyone who uncovers the truth becomes a target, no matter who they are. There's a secret that must be kept, and certain people will go to great lengths to ensure it stays hidden. There's something strange happening in this small town. Looking back at past cases, I realize it has been going on for a long time. If you have seen my sorority series, you'll notice that many cases in this town are quickly labeled as having no foul play or given very little public information. Personally, I believe this is intentional, not just to avoid compromising investigations, but to keep things secret, ensuring that the average person remains unaware and doesn't question it, not even family or friends. In a small, low profile town like this, it's easier for serious crimes to go unnoticed. One particular case involved Hudson Lindo, a Boise native and University of Idaho student, majoring in environmental studies, and an avid skier who was believed to know how to swim. On May 1st, 2022, just 6 months before the Idaho forced lanes, it was reported that 19-year-old Hudson left a fraternity party in Moscow, Idaho, and allegedly walked nearly 7 miles before falling into a frozen creek. A toxicology report conducted by Kathy Mabbitt revealed the blood alcohol content of 0.17. When this incident was first reported on Sunday, the following Monday afternoon, police announced that no cause of death had been determined and that they did not suspect foul play. Later, they ruled his death an accidental drowning. At first glance, hearing the story without seeing the area might lead one to think it was a tragic accident. But when you see the location and consider that an avid skier who knew how to swim is believed to have drowned there, it gets very chilling.
And welcome to the Sunday News at 10. I'm Doug Petcash. We start with a tragic story out of North Idaho. The Moscow Police Department says officers found the body of a young Boise man this morning. The body of 19-year-old Hudson Lindo of Boise was found in Paradise Creek near College Avenue in Moscow this morning. The Moscow Police Department says they responded to reports of a body in the creek around 11:30 this morning. The investigation is ongoing, but police say foul play is not suspected.
Before discussing Hudson, it's important to note that he wasn't the first University of Idaho student found dead in unusual circumstances. In 2013, Joseph Whiterick, a student from Haley, Idaho, was discovered under the Paradise Creek Bridge. Joseph had been at a fraternity party that night, but never made it home. When police arrived, they stated that they did not suspect foul play and believed he had died from hypothermia after freezing to death beneath the bridge. Fast forward to 2022 with the case of Hudson Lindo. Like Joseph Whiterick, Hudson left the fraternity party and was later found dead in Paradise Creek, though his cause of death was ruled as drowning. After reviewing the creek's water records, the depth ranged from a maximum of 4 feet to as shallow as a few inches. Hudson, who stood taller than 4 feet and was known to be a strong swimmer, seemed unlikely to drown in such shallow water.
Of November 13th, 2022. But I also want to talk about another individual. Right here is the Paradise Creek, and May 1st, 2022, a 19-year-old University of Idaho student, Hudson Lindo, was found dead right here. Right here, May 1st, Sunday. Authorities were called out here about 11:28 a.m. And Hudson Lindo was found here. Right here. Now, at the time, police said no foul play. But what really happened? Hudson Lindo from Boise was a student. Another student died. And we'll just take you up. I mean, is this a place where somebody would commit suicide? Think somebody put a body down here? You know, other university students involved, other people involved. Just throwing it out there.
Digging further, I found that Hudson was a member of Sigma Chi, and was friends with Ethan Chapin.
Putty. Hey.
Following his death, friends from Sigma Chi posted hotline numbers on their social media, implying he may have taken his own life, despite the coroner ruling it accidental. This raises questions. What are they trying to hide? Who's correct? And what did Hudson know that they didn't want others to find out? Hudson was remembered as a good guy who cherished his family and friends. His family created an Instagram post that read, "Love like Hudson," highlighting his infectious goofiness and warmth. The photo shared by his friends appears to have been taken before his death. And upon closer inspection, you can see the Idaho roommate's home in the background. It's indeed strange that two accidental deaths occurred in the same area, both involving individuals leaving a fraternity party late at night. Chief James Fry investigated both cases, and Kathy Mabbitt served as a coroner for each incident. I don't think this is a coincidence.
I don't know that him and Ethan were best friends, but they were very close from my understanding.
In Latah County, the requirements to become a coroner are quite minimal. One must be a citizen, a resident of the county, and at least 21 years old. That's all. Therefore, anyone they are willing to elect will likely go along with the program, reinforcing a cycle where questions about accountability and transparency remain unaddressed. There's something peculiar about the 911 call made to the Idaho home on November 13, 2022, when the report was for an unconscious person, although it was actually for death.
Why did the two roommates in the morning call the police about an unconscious person when there was apparently a bloodbath in their home?
Kathy Mabbitt quickly disclosed the blood alcohol content of the two students who died in Paradise Creek. Yet when it came to the Idaho 4 roommates, she claimed that such information wouldn't provide any clues about the case. This statement was met with pushback from a former medical examiner who emphasized that a toxicology report could reveal the victim's state of mind, especially if they had allegedly left the bar. The former examiner raised a critical question. What if someone had slipped something into their drinks to disorient them? It's notable that both Joseph and Hudson, who were fraternity members, left fraternity parties shortly before their deaths. Similarly, on the night of the Idaho 4 slayings, Bethany Funk reported seeing Ethan and Xana at the Sigma Chi fraternity house. Tragically, shortly after leaving, they also ended up dead. This pattern suggests a troubling connection to the fraternity house, challenging the notion about these organizations upholding a positive brotherhood image. With Scott Green, a Greek member, serving as president, there's an implication that they feel untouchable due to their connections, leading to a lack of fear regarding prosecution or repercussions for their actions. If this behavior continues unchecked, more lives may be at risk. As I will discuss in my next video, there appears to be a long-standing conflict at the University of Idaho, marked by multiple parties and years of violence on both sides. Stay tuned for more on this critical issue. It's Casper West here, signing out.
So I will tell you.
I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know why this rolled over. Sorry, you guys. Definitely thought that was interesting. Just saying. Let me see. Oh. Yep, I think I got that and all that. Any thoughts, either one of you two, on anything that or anything else we've talked about today at all? Yeah, Echo.
I think that these kids drink because, I mean, not just fraternities and sororities, but just drinking in college, period, is big. And I mean, I'm not saying
it's normal to do. It's normal to do.
Yeah, I mean, college is party. Woohoo, party.
Right. It's absolutely normal. None of that is abnormal. I mean, they seem to do it a lot at Idaho. But like I said, I used to go hang out at OSU on campus, even though I didn't go to school there. A lot of my friends did every weekend. And I barely remember the weekend because I was always so drunk. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, it was normal to do that stuff. And good God knows bad things could have happened to me, but I had people that watched out for me, period, because I was such a hard drinker. Many a times, though, I ended up in somebody's yard or on the roof of a car or, you know what I mean? Stupid shit. But there's a lot of instances that happened to me that I'm glad I made it through. You wake up on the roof of somebody's car in your underwear and go, I guess it was another one of those nights, and then you move on. So yeah. But when you lose your life, there's a difference. And in some senses, it seems like some people didn't look out for some people sometimes here. It's sad. And there's a lot more dangerous things that have happened here. There was over 10 people that died within a period of 2 years, from 22 to 24, I think it was. And there were others that weren't recorded. So a lot of people have passed here. It's sad. They need to regulate what goes on in Idaho, pay attention to it, and get it together. If they're going to keep these fraternities rolling, they're all on probationary issues. The sororities as well. Like, just start following the rules and do it right, and you'll be okay. Things won't happen. So same with WSU as well. Just saying. So anyway, that was pretty much what I was going to cover. I'm probably going to be back here tonight with something else. I appreciate you guys joining me today. JC, it was great to have you up here. You as well, Terry. I haven't had either one of you guys up here with me for a while. It was wonderful to have you here, actually.
Thanks for having us.
Your thoughts and feelings are very important. And everybody else in chat, you guys are amazing as well. I'm hoping that this coming week we'll have quite a few more documents to review. That's my hope and my what I pray for. And we shall see. So everybody in chat, guys, don't forget to love yourselves, love each other, don't change a thing. You guys are beautiful people. I will see you here later on. Thank you for being here.
Cat Lady.
Yes, Cat Lady is awesome. We love her. Thank you to my mods that popped in. If you guys are not busy after the fact mods, I'd like to talk to you just for a couple of minutes. And you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Cafe where the whispers play, secrets hide, bodies sway. True crime cafe in the night we stay. Truths decay, truths decay. Tango in the corner, eyes like stone, words like daggers, chilled to the bone. Echoes of screams on a borrowed phone. A city of shadows, you're never alone. Coffee cold, I can't think. Neon buzz, tongue don't blink. Where they go, who's the link? You're never alone. And the sirens wail, another ghost for the tale. True crime cafe where the whispers play, secrets hide, bodies sway. True crime cafe in the night we stay. Truths decay, truths decay. Ashtrays full, sins don't wash. Table stained, lies embossed. Fingers point but the lines are crossed. Justice sleeps at a heavy cost. Coffee cold, I can't think. Neon buzz, tongue don't blink. Where they go, who's the link? Echo in the corner, eyes like stone, words like daggers, chilled to the bone. True crime cafe, in the night we stay. Truths decay, truths decay. Tango in the corner, eyes like stone, words like daggers, chilled to the bone. Echoes of screams on a borrowed phone. The city of shadows whose decay lay low in the corner. Eyes like stone, words like daggers, chilled to the bone. Echoes of screams on a borrowed phone. A city of shadows, you're never alone. Coffee cold, I can't think. Neon buzz, tongue don't blink. Where they go, who's the lake? Ashtrays full, sins don't wash. Table stained, lies embossed. Fingers point, but the lines are crossed. Justice sleeps at a heavy cost.